Learfield, and James Madison University Athletics presents NCAA football. Today, the Dukes of James Madison start the 50th year of playing football on this campus, and they welcome to town the Morehead State Eagles, who are out of the Pioneer League, for a rematch of last February's encounter, here to open up the spring season of 2021. Hello, everyone. I'm Kurt Dudley, along with Arthur Moats. Great to have you back here in the booth, man.
Always good to be back. Super excited about it. And, man, we got some good football lined up for us today.
The entire season should be good football for the Dukes of James Madison. Great to have the Eagles back in town. And first of all, let's jump right into it and take a look inside the numbers, just how things finished off for these two programs last year. And, Arthur, we're going to see a lot of the same players that played in this game last year. And for these teams, they do expect to continue to go up, and all those numbers should go up as well.
Absolutely. Well, if you're the JMU defense, in particular against the run, you don't want that number to go up. But they have been excellent against that, and obviously they were when they played against Morehead during the spring as well.
Yeah, Duke's defense has been very stout the last couple of years. And let's go, first of all, take a look at some of our top players in today's ball game. For Morehead State, they throw the ball about 55% of the time, where they get 77% of their offense. And Mark Pappas is the starting quarterback, and his top target is this man right here, B.J. Bird. He's an Eagle that flies all over the field, in fact. He has a lot of receptions from last year, was third in the country with the 8 touchdowns. He also is a top kick return and punt return man for the Eagles of Morehead State. Let's go to the other side of the football, a young man that proved to be very dynamic. We're really excited to see him in his, I guess, redshirt freshman year.
Well, a super redshirt freshman year, right? Shout out to the pandemic. But as a whole, man, Antoine Wells came on as a guy in the spring, especially during the playoffs, where he really emerged as the Duke's #1 wide receiver and provided just an element that we hadn't seen in a couple of years. So for him, I anticipate him being able to continue the trajectory that he is on.
Cole Johnson does return for his super season as well. He told us just a while back that he will be back, and the Dukes are certainly pleased about that. You come back, won't you? Indeed you will, as it's the Dukes and the Morehead State Eagles, and it's JMU football from Learfield.
These are beautiful.
Yes, your new baby is here. Now all you want is to take her for a spin. But you can't.
Stop.
Because your other baby, the human one, just opened a nail salon. No problem. CarMax delivers right to your door, so you don't have to lift a finger. Because that's the way it should be. CarMax.
Virginia Business Systems has been solving our customers' most challenging business problems for over 65 years. With best-in-class office productivity solutions from Konica Minolta, HP, Xerox, and Lexmark, Virginia Business Systems provides fast-forward office technology that saves time and money for your business. Call or visit our website today and see how VBS can help your company grow through superior technology and service.
Jerry finally crossed rock climbing off his bucket list, and he has a souvenir to prove it. So how does Jerry get to the bank? He doesn't. At AtlanticUnionBank.com, Jerry can schedule a live video appointment with a knowledgeable banker, ready to help out and answer his questions, all while focusing on other important things. No shoes required. Video appointments that simplify your life. Another reason why the switch is on to Atlantic Union Bank.
Today's game is presented by Glow Fiber. Experience the best high-speed internet. Glow Fiber, internet of you. Well, today's temperature, it's about 80 degrees, 79 we're at now. So certainly it'll fall a little bit here. Sunny, partly cloudy. Take your pick, I guess.
Well, you know what they call that? Football weather around here.
Exactly. It is very good football weather, and that is brought to you by XL Heating and Cooling. XL Heating and Cooling, once again, a proud sponsor of JMU. And the keys to the game, first of all, let's look at, MSU. Carry the confidence. They did win their last 3 games. Arthur, I think in order to go against this JMU defense, they got to stretch the field a little bit. And don't allow the JMU offense any big plays.
And that's what got them in the spring. If you remember that, man, Solomon Van Horst was able to take a long run and really break the game open.
Let's go and take a look at the keys to the game from Cross Keys for JMU. Well, I'd like for the Dukes to forget February. Okay, it's a different season. It's a new season. Establish some offensive rhythm with, of course, Cole Johnson at quarterback again, and just be as disruptive as you possibly can. I know you know how to do that.
Listen, anytime you're talking about a disruptive defense, that's what the Dukes were last spring, and that's what they've been for the past couple of seasons. So they definitely want to continue that on today.
There you go. Those are your Cross Keys Vineyards keys to the game this afternoon. The Dukes, they won the toss and they deferred, and they will kick off here. So JMU's defense will be on the field first off. We should see Camden Wise kicking off for James Madison, and B.J. Bird is deep. He's the man to the near side, and Isaiah Aguero is the other return man, should be for Morehead State. I'm Kurt Dudley on with Arthur Moats. We'll also introduce a new man to the crew here, Corey Spector, a proud alum of Syracuse. So he'll be joining us today also for this afternoon and this evening's broadcast. The Dukes opening up their 50th season of James Madison University Dukes football. We will be talking about that all season long, including some special things today. And the initial kickoff, it is Bird at the end zone. He's going to bring it up to the 10, to the 15, and he doesn't make it quite to the 15 as he is dropped down right there on great coverage for the Dukes to start this ball game off.
And honestly, that was the difference between the spring game last year with B.J. Bird and this Morehead State special teams unit. They were not bringing out any kicks, and you see right here him bringing it out and ultimately starting their offense back in a backed up situation against the Dukes defense.
Kyle Holmes getting back there, a freshman safety on special teams play. So let's bring out the offensive unit for Morehead State. They are guided by Mark Pappas, a graduate student quarterback, and we're going to hear a lot about graduate students now and super seniors after last year's. It's going to be, you're going to need an abacus to keep up with everything. And they will do a lot of RPO out of their offense. And here comes the first throw. It's out to the right wing, and it is caught. A quick gain on the play. And Sam Kidd making the tackle for James Madison, as it was Michael Amore.
And they don't waste any time getting right back to the line of scrimmage. I anticipate them going back to this RPO action to spread this Dukes defense out.
Second down and 4 at the 21-yard line. You can hear the fans. They are into it early here because they're just glad to be in the stadium, period. Aguero is in the backfield. He's the lone man. They've got 2 up to the top side and 2 to the near side as well, the wide side of the field. That's where they're going, and it's a one-on-one coverage out and not much running room, but he may have picked up the first down as once again Michael Amore pulling it in, and Wayne Davis making the tackle. Take a look at this starting offensive unit brought to you by Door Gorilla. That is the starting 11 for the Eagles.
And it looks like they were short on it as well.
Yeah, so third down and 1 at the 24. This time they're to the short side of the field. Just one receiver, 2 up top. And a double tight end formation also as they look over to the line of scrimmage. 6 on the play clock. Pappas barks it out, back to pass. Pocket collapses, but he finds Aguero coming out of the backfield. He picks up big yardage and scampers out of bounds just inside the 46. They will actually mark it at the 46-yard line. And a first down, nicely executed offensive play. A good time, good patience for Pappas.
Yeah, Pappas did a good job extending the play. He felt pressure coming on his backside by number 15 defensively, but being able to find Isaiah out the backfield like that and him just being able to extend the play for that first down was a nice job by them right there.
Sets up a 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line of Morehead State. In motion goes Amore. He'll go to the left of the formation. Looking that way is Pappas, and he'll find Amore, and he does hang on to it, that is, as he goes out of bounds inside JMU territory as he goes to the JMU 46. Here's the defensive unit for James Madison, again brought to you by Door Gorilla. You'll see DeMonte Tucker Dorsey, one of the leaders here. Kevin Ozanama, the leading tackler for the Dukes a year ago. Watch out for Bryce Carter on the end. And Isaac Ukwu, he is back in the lineup. Flared out again. They are just working the perimeter. This time it's hauled in by B.J. Bird. And And Chris Chukwanuki in on the tackle for James Madison.
Yeah, Rob Tenure, obviously the head coach and offensive coordinator, are taking a different approach in this game compared to the spring where they tried to come out and run the ball. Here, they're going a lot of perimeter action, making the Dukes have to be more light in the inside.
It picks up a first down at the JMU 37-yard line. Long count, and now they'll fire it off. And they whistle. Sound like they blew the play dead beforehand, but no, they actually let them go ahead on and play. May have been someone from the crowd, Tucker Dorsey.
Yeah, once again, though, this Morehead State offense is staying in a 2-by-2 set where they're spreading this defense out for the Dukes and really making them have to go to a smaller personnel grouping. But as long as the Dukes can still control the line of scrimmage, it will not hurt them right now.
Rob Tenure, the head coach in his 9th season with the Eagles out of Morehead, Kentucky. Another opening matchup between these programs, 5th time in this decade. And this is lofted out just over the outstretched arms, that is, of B.J. Bird. Back on the coverage, Greg Ross for James Madison. We'll watch Ross defend once again here, brought to you by United Bank.
Yeah, Greg is a guy that came over during the spring, transferring from UNC. Long corner, good job in terms of his hands at the point of attack. I like his game.
Aguilera finds himself in the backfield. 3 set to the top side, including Amar, who has been a top target. Bird is here alone in single coverage. He is to the short side of the field.
Now it'll be interesting to see how aggressive they get right here with it being 3rd and long.
Back to pass again, this time over the middle, and it's broken up. Wayne Davis knocks it away, and that brings up the 4th down. And we'll watch it once again on the replay. Davis coming around to break that pass up.
That was nice by him, not allowing his arm to get there too soon where you would worry about a flag coming out there. Just good detail right there by Wayne.
That's his 23rd pass breakup since coming to James Madison out of Ohio State. And we're going to try a field goal here. This one coming from spotted at the 42-yard line, so quite the distance. A 52-yard try, and it doesn't look like it's going to have enough. And it is not long enough. Well, the Eagles, they do move the ball fairly well. They get into JMU territory, but a 52-yard field goal try is going to come up way shy.
Yeah, but if you're Morehead State on offense right now, you have to be feeling confident. You were able to move the ball after starting in your own, side of the field and things like that. But as a whole, good job by the Dukes as well. Didn't give up any points, was ultimately able to minimize the damage and get your offense the ball on the field now.
So the Dukes give up some yardage, but stand and they'll take over. And Cole Johnson in the backfield for James Madison as your quarterback. He'll send Cheatham in motion. He'll line up on the left side. Handoff. It's a running play for the Dukes, and there's just a little bit of a seam, and that picks up nearly the first down. And Ergie's cheesesteak first down if it is. And there he is, your quarterback for the Dukes, Cole Johnson. Again, one of those super seniors. Out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. Went to Cox High School, former Falcon. He's got another Virginia Beach product, Kalon Black, in the backfield with him. Black will sprint out. Here's a pass down the sideline for Wells. Couldn't quite make the adjustment. Looked like he was a little off his rocker there a bit as he stutter step there. Let's take a look at the rest of the offense here for James Madison. Again, brought to you by Door Gorilla. As the Dukes, how you like those helmets? JMU on one side, MC, Madison College.
Man, a good nod to the older class, the older generation, but I could tell you as a younger alumni, we absolutely love that logo.
There was a look at the Dukes starting 11. Of course, a lot of interchangeable parts, particularly in the backfield. And a spin move by Black. He spins again and whirls his way, just picks up a tough yard. Second down and 9, Wade Acey.
Without a doubt, he put them all in the spin cycle right there, but that's a testament to the JMU running back room. I mean, you don't have Percy Ajayi-Obaze today, but you still have a staple of running backs that can come in here and get the job done.
Yeah, a couple of Dukes are not in uniform this afternoon. We'll give you that rundown here in just a moment. Johnson, again in the backfield with This time Solomon, but he's going to go over the top. He's got a man wide open, and it's a touchdown. James Madison University. The Dukes are first to score here this afternoon. And it's Chris Thornton. Last year he wore 16. This year he wears number 8.
And that was a nice play by Cole. Waiting for the receiver to beat the secondary right down the middle of the seam. Cole takes his time, sees it, throws a beautiful pass where obviously Chris can run into that and catch it for a touchdown. Beautiful play though.
Just overran all of the coverage, and here is Ethan Ratke in to attempt the extra point, and every time he scores, he just adds to the CAA and JMU career record, and he could and should end up this year as the all-time leader in the FCS. So Dukes get a 54-yard touchdown toss. Chris Thornton hauls it in from Cole Johnson. Dukes lead it early, 7-0. You're watching JMU football from Learfield. JMU Athletics would like to thank its Team Madison partners. They are Pepsi and Centera. Welcome back to Bridgeport Stadium. The Dukes out in front early as they score a 54-yard touchdown pass. Chris Thornton hauling it in from Cole Johnson. Camden Wise will kick it off here. Of course, Ethan Ratke with the point after. And this is deep into the end zone, and Bird this time will elect to come on out, or actually not come out, that is. Take a look at the scoring drive summary for you. 4 plays, 66 yards, just a minute 3 off the clock.
Explosive drive once again for the Dukes. That's what they do.
And we're talking about the big play, and well, there you see JMU with the big play against Morehead State, and Morehead State can't afford to give up such big plays.
And even though it wasn't a key, I'm sure Coach Signetti is very happy about the fast start from the Dukes.
Oh, yes, yes. I think we did not have that as a key. You're right. All right, so back to work goes Morehead. And they put Bird in motion. This time it's the handoff. Aguera nowhere to go as he is wrestled down in the backfield. Big number 90, Tony Thornton, brings him down. It's a loss on the play.
Tony does a really good job getting off the ball right there, using his hat and hands to create a new line of scrimmage, and then after that, go finish the play and be a playmaker.
Tony playing in his 20th game as a JMU athlete. Came in with 2.5 tackles for loss in his career. Well, he can already add 1 here in the early goings of 2021. Trips to the top for the Eagles. Man in motion is Bird. He comes to the near side. Faking the handoff, looking to the left. That's underneath, and a nice tackle. Pass was thrown out in the flats, and Torres Carroll did not bite on it. Did an excellent job. He was out on an island, and he did exactly as he needed to do.
Yeah, as we can see on the replay right here, Pappas with the play fake. But from here, Carroll reads the screen and triggers right away. And a lot of times with the cornerbacks, you never know how interested they are in tackling. But right there, Carroll showed zero hesitation and made a really good play.
3rd down and 10 at the 25-yard line. Davis steps up to the line of scrimmage. Now they'll change the play as Pappas looking over again to the sideline. He's got Aguero in the backfield with him. Davante Adams is in the slot here on the near side. Haven't seen his number called yet. Looking that way. Actually, he's going up over the top, and they hand wrestle, and Torres, actually a flag will come down. Torres Carroll may have been called for pass interference.
This is going to be interesting. I think this might be on the offense as well, though. There's a lot of hand fighting at the catch point.
Well, we'll see what the officials do rule here today. It is called a pass interference on James Madison. And those PIs, sometimes they can be right on the borderline.
Man, well, we always know that whenever it's a little bit of a question mark, we always err on the side of offense.
That's right. And that's what they did, as you see, there's the play once again. So it ends up being a 1st down. And they move the ball up to the 35-yard line. First penalty on the new year. 7-0 James Madison. So we are approaching the midpoint of the first quarter of play. Pappas pauses. Ball deflected up. Q Reed got a hand on it. Get the sense this second series that the secondary is getting a little better idea about what Pappas wants to do, as the coverage seems to be tightening just a bit. Although, yes, we did have that pass interference play, but you kind of like the spacing that you see.
Yeah, because we saw in that first series, Morehead really was able to spread the Dukes out on the perimeter and have some success, but now the Dukes have definitely acclimated to that.
Well, secondary has been busy. Front line trying to put some pressure on, but a lot of quick passing, just like that one that's hauled in by Davante Adams. His 62nd career reception. Chuck Winucki with, again, the tackle. Hey, let's send it down to the sideline. And this report from Ergies joining us once again. And we want to introduce to you the newest member of the broadcast crew here, Corey Spector, the proud graduate of Syracuse. Boy, Corey, the Dukes, they've got some defensive ends to work with in this alignment this year.
I can't respond to you guys.
Okay. You just did. 3rd down and 6. Over the top. Again, looking for Bird. He makes a great catch. Right on his heels was Jamari Currents. But the catch is made by Bird.
B.J. Bird, their all-world receiver / return man, coming up with a big play, field flipping play, and this is definitely what Morehead State needed early in this game to keep on track with the Dukes.
They're about where they were the last time the drive stalled out for Morehead. They're here on their second drive. This pass is deflected. And another pass interference call potentially coming out as a flag. Jordan Swan, the newcomer for James Madison out of Maine. I think you're going to enjoy seeing him on punt returns for the Dukes. Let's see how it looks from your point of view, Arthur.
Yeah, hands on his waist prior to the catch. Obviously, it's a little ticky-tack, but this is also the part of the season where this happens. As a DB, as a younger player, you have to get acclimated to how they're going to call it in the game, and this is very different. So for those guys, they're going to go through this a little bit, but they'll be fine.
Swan, 5'11", 190-pounder, grew up right there in the shadows of the University of Delaware in Newark, Delaware, and a transfer from Clock is stopped with 7:12 to go. Pappas, a nifty 8 out of 12 thus far passing for 70 yards. And he is spreading the wealth a little bit too. Of course, Bird his primary target. He'll pass once again. And that's deflected.
A very, very different approach, though, compared to when we saw this game last year during this, or excuse me, a couple of months ago during the spring where they tried to come out and establish the run. Right here, it looks like they've learned from their mistakes, and this is making it interesting early on.
Greg Ross on the coverage for James Madison. Pappas has thrown to 4 receivers here in this first quarter of play. 3 of those have hauled in a couple. They'll go to the run this time. Guerrero fights off a couple of tackles, and DeMonte Tucker Dorsey gets in for the stop for James Madison. He gains about 3 on the play.
Another interesting possession right here. Possession down in the red zone. How aggressive should they get? But if you're the Dukes on defense, you want to make sure that you're pulling up any lateral plays because the field is condensed now.
Pappas again looking over to the sideline. This time they've got Jeremiah Scott on the left side along with Armour. Here to the near side. Adams is in the slot. Pappas gets hit as he throws, and that ends up near no one. That's the first time the Dukes got really great pressure on him, Arthur.
And that's that guy that we talked about earlier, Bryce Carter. Man, he has nice length. Even though he's a shorter player, compact, but knows how to get after the quarterback. We saw him provide a little bit of pressure early on as well. But that clean hit, no penalty right there, and ultimately getting a nice play on Greg early on.
All right, so another field goal try coming out. Nathan Haslett will try another one. He was short on 52. This one will get spotted at the 23. 33-yard attempt. And it looks to be good as it hits the All-State good hands. So Morehead State is on the board. That's the first time in 2 games they've scored here at James Madison. 7-3, the Dukes with the lead. We'll back in just a moment. You're watching JMU football from Learfield.
Is a great community. Door Gorilla is proud to be the official garage door provider for JMU Athletics and proud to support their community. When you need a garage door, call 540-740-DOOR and show your support for JMU this season. Go Dukes!
Are the Saturdays on your fall calendar filling up fast, but you want to see the JMU football Dukes take the field at Bridgeport Stadium? Single game tickets are on sale as the Dukes host such Colonial Athletic Association foes as the Maine Black Bears, the Villanova Wildcats, the Phoenix of Elon, and the Towson Tigers. Non-conference opponents are the Morehead State Eagles and the Campbell Camels. Call during business hours to 540-568-3853 or visit 247jmutickets.com to order your football tickets today.
After working together to address COVID-19, here at Centera,
we want to say thank you.
Thank you to our community leaders, faith-based clergy, city leaders, and volunteers. Without your tireless efforts, many would have gone unvaccinated.
Thank you to our team members bravely serving on the front lines, putting the health of patients before all else.
Together, our community partners and team members made progress possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all that we achieved together.
Cross Keys Vineyards. Open daily.
Well, welcome back, everyone. It's a 7-3 score here with 6:11 to go in the first quarter of play. A 33-yard field goal for Morehead State put the Eagles on the board. And CarMax is the proud sponsor and the presenting season sponsor of the 2021 JMU football season. CarMax, the way car buying should be. So Hartlets that just kicked the field goal will boot it off, and Cheatham will catch it at the 27-yard line. Well, the defense has come off the field after giving up the 3 points here, but we do want to talk a little bit about this defensive end unit that the Dukes have this year, and let's send it down field side, that is, with Corey Spector, brought to you by Ergies. Corey?
Well, thanks, Kurt. JMU has 2 additions to the defensive line this year. We'll begin with Isaac Ukwu, who's coming off of 2 ACL tears, right ACL, MCL, and meniscus leading up to the 2019 season, leading up to 2021, the left ACL. But he actually didn't know he tore his left ACL until he took an MRI 7 days after the injury. He was on the treadmill for an entire week. Now, Isaac Ukwu is back, and I asked him how his family has helped in his recovery, and he told me essentially that they tell him that God has a plan for him. He's going to face adversity, not once, but twice. He'll get back on the field, and he's still looking to record his first career stack with the Dukes. Now, there's another addition for JMU. It's also Bryce Carter, a defensive end, transfer from Towson, 15 sacks in 4 seasons. Carter said that there's not a lot of change in terms of the philosophy from the Tigers to the Dukes, and he actually has some familiarity with Corey Heatherman. So this is a great addition for JMU, and it should pay dividends for JMU going forward.
And Corey Spector, a great addition to our broadcast team as well. Thank you very much, Corey. And while he was chatting, a couple of big plays for the Dukes. You get the long pass thrown again by Johnson as he hits Scott Bracey, and then the big run. Here's Kaylon Black with another. The Dukes are just picking up chunk yardage here on this second possession.
Yeah, Kaylon Black is doing a really good job of just finding the hole. Good patience, but I love his burst, and ultimately, man, that's been a key contributor to this part of this drive.
Dukes have a first down. They're back inside the red zone, actually, for the first time today. That first scoring pass for the Dukes was well outside the red zone. 1st and 10 at the 19. We'll call it the 18. They've got the double tight end. We're going to see a lot of tight ends for the Dukes this year. Here's Johnson, and he'll swing it out. Nice grab. That was by Bracey. Let's see. They do say that it was a catch, and he does lose it once he hits the turf. Cameron Barrett is there to try to make the stop, and he does so, but not before a gain of about 4. Nice catch there for the transfer for JMU out of Duke.
Yeah, I would look for JMU to go back to that running game, man. The field is condensed right now, so the vertical threat isn't as prevalent. But JMU is too physical up front to shy away from the run right here.
One snap. Here's the next handoff. This time it's Solomon. Correction, that is actually Douglas, the ball carrier. And he picks up a couple of yards, 3rd down and 1.
And see, I like that right there. That was a nice run. Now you get them in a 3rd and very, very manageable, and you got options here. But once again, they're too physical up front to shy away from running the ball right here.
Austin Douglas was the ball carrier. And a flag comes in, illegal motion. False start called against the Dukes.
Little crowd effect right there. You see the offensive line telling the student section to quiet it down. Was a little bit different during the spring season where we obviously weren't allowed to have full capacity, but it is a beautiful crowd here today, and they are loud.
I think around the country you could hear conversations in the stands. Now you can only hear noise around the land. Boy, it was loud at Virginia Tech last night. I wasn't there, but I watched the ball game. Tremendous win for the Hokies.
Absolutely.
Here's a man all alone. It's Black coming out of the backfield, spins, but he can't get away as Tyler Noble makes the tackle. 47 tackles in his career coming in. We'll watch that once again.
Yeah, Tyler Noble once again right here with a good open field tackle. Obviously, Kaylon Black had made a couple of guys miss earlier in this game with his spin move, but right there, Tyler was able to make sure he got that tackle and put him in a 4th down situation here.
Yeah, Dukes look like they're going to go for it right here. 4th down and 4 at the 12-yard line. See what the Dukes have up their sleeve here in the early going of this season. Dropping back, here comes some pressure, flares it out, and it is tipped. And incomplete. Cheatham nearly grabbed it off the carom, but it does hit the turf for an incomplete pass, and Morehead State will take over on a change of downs. Barrett there to defend.
Very exciting play, but at the same time, very dangerous play for Cole right there.
Well, the Dukes, they had a chance in the red zone, but they failed to score it. 7-3, our score remains. You're watching the JMU Dukes football from Learfield. Bojangles is the official tailgate partner of JMU Athletics. Don't forget to pick up your big bow box and cheer on the Dukes. It is bow time. For those guys, it was go time. And a big hit on the quarterback as Pappas' release is incomplete. After the Dukes turn it over on a change of downs again, Wayne Davis.
Just say a nice hit on mark and also a nice PBU right there.
Second for Davis. Out of Norfolk, Virginia. Started his career with the Buckeyes of Ohio State. A number of these players at James Madison spent some time at the FBS level. Flared out again. They've been successful at least completing some passes out there, but now you see the JMU speed coming into effect. Again, Davis rumbling out there as Bird hauls it in, but he had nowhere to go that time.
Yeah, Corey Heatherman has done a good job adjusting to what the Morehead State offense is wanting to do in terms of playing more on the perimeter, more of this lateral style of game. JMU has the athletes to compete like this, and Corey has these guys dialed in.
Third down and 7.
Third down, 7.
From the 15-yard line. Chuck Wanuki walks up on Guilford, the man in the slot. It's Bird here to the near side. Carroll is on him, and timeout called by Morehead State. Well, that gives us a chance to tell you that the small business Game Changer is back and better than ever. Enter your business to win a $20,000 marketing package with JMU Athletics and Appeal Production. Visit jmusports.com/Game Changer. As I mentioned, Arthur, these programs, they've met 5 times since this part of the stadium opened. So since 2011 in the regular season and the season openers, the Dukes, including today, have won all, well, before today. The 4 prior, they won, of course, and they lead the all-time series 8-2. But that series started way back in the late 70s.
Correct. And, I mean, I believe in this series also, the wins that Morehead State have had have been at their location also. So, once again, the history part, you love to see it, but this has been a very one-sided series between these two teams.
Coach Tyner, he got his team going at the latter part of the season last year, all in Pioneer League play.
Ended on a 3-game winning streak as well.
Pappas looks one way, comes the other. Pass is caught. It's hauled in by Bird. He is wrestled down. I think he's got the first down. It depends on where the mark is in front of the JMU bench.
Yeah, B.J. Bird with a really impressive route right here. Obviously taking the corner inside and then breaking his route, snapping it outside. Good hands catch, gets the first down, keeps this drive alive for Morehead State. But B.J. Bird has definitely been a bright spot for Morehead State offensively.
This time the opposite way, and there's a bit of a seam. Devontae Adams does haul it in. He picks up a good chunk of yardage on the first down. Give him a pickup of 6. Kelvin Azanama, the linebacker for the Dukes, moves in to make the stop. Azanama out of Chesterfield, Virginia, former Monacan Chief. 89 career tackles coming into this season. Aguero in the backfield. Isaiah, redshirt senior, 5'11", 211-pounder from Knoxville, Tennessee. His 17th career game. Thrown out here, and Bird can't pull that one in. Coming in and closing in is Antonio Webb.
Yeah, once again right there, Bird was able to create some separation. And it's one of those things with JMU. They're going to have to start challenging Mark a little bit because they know that for them, they're not trying to run this ball. They're simply working the perimeter every single time. So look for Corey to spice it up a little bit defensively.
All right, 3rd down and 4. Dukes are without Mike Green today. So you're seeing a little bit of an adjustment from that standpoint, and James Carpenter will move back to a tackle spot that he played in last year. He was going to be at nose tackle, and another flag coming in. This was Webb. He thought he had a pass breakup. I don't even think he knows the flag was thrown. Now he does.
Yeah, that's one of those feelings as a person in coverage. You feel great about it until you turn around and see that little piece of yellow handkerchief on the floor.
That's 3 PIs against James Madison. We'll take a look once more. They actually call it a holding. It does result in a first down.
And actually, I think that's what they called earlier as well. Now, on the perimeter, the JMU defense, they are very handsy, they are very physical, and they are challenging these receivers. So you understand that sometimes the price of doing business, but you don't shy away from it if you're the secondary for the JMU Dukes.
So another first down by way of the penalty. And that's to the inside. Greg Ross defending. Christian Graves whirling around trying to pull that one in.
Yeah, that was a good job by Greg right there. Just not allowing the back shoulder throw to be completed. When you're playing physical bump and run coverage, that becomes a very prevalent element of that aspect on the perimeter.
Pappas will back up. 7-3 our score here in the first. Pappas going back, floats it out, and incomplete. He was backpedaling. His intended target was Jeremiah Scott. And is there a flag? I thought I heard Jack Kavanaugh. Great to hear Mr. Kavanaugh's voice back here.
Absolutely.
We've heard his voice. An ineligible receiver downfield, ineligible player, actually not a receiver, downfield. So we'll see the Dukes will take the penalty. Nope, they are going to defer it. Okay, they're going to
go to third down right here.
Down. That's what I thought. The sticks were moved. The down marker was moved back, so I guess he was anticipating they were going to.
This is their first game as well. You know, we got to give the officials a little bit of a leeway.
Yeah, a lot of leeway today. Third down and 10. Getting late in this period, also 43 seconds to go. Pappas over the middle, and it's picked off. Q Reed at the 50. To the 40, stutter steps there. He'll get dragged down at the 41-yard line, and the Dukes have their first pick of the season. Q Reed with his fourth as a James Madison Duke.
Q Reed with a big-time play right here to end this first quarter. As we see on the replay, Pappas with a little bit of pressure, but Q just had a great break on it, and then from there secured the catch, show a little niftiness, working on his return skills right there, but as a whole, good play by Q.
So the Dukes offense will come back out. They stalled, and this time we'll see for the first time today in the backfield, it is Latrell Palmer, a sophomore from Boyds, Maryland, a hard runner, 106 carries in his career, 578 yards and 6 touchdowns. Dukes have it at the 41 of Morehead State following the pick by Q Reed. This is Palmer, stutter steps. He's got some running room. I think he tripped over his own man who was blocking. I would think he went over Cheatham's back foot. First down, and from the first down, he picks up 6. Second down, a long 4. Dukes right back to the line of scrimmage. Flaring it out to this side. Ball is caught. This is Thornton, and he'll dance out of bounds. That pass that was hauled in by Thornton, his longest as a Duke, but not his longest in his career. He had a 67-yard touchdown pass down the road in Lexington at VMI.
Yeah, since he's transferred over, he's definitely been a breath of fresh air for the Dukes, and he's been a person that's been able to complement a guy like Antoine Wells also.
Thornton out of Manassas, Virginia. And that is the end of the first quarter of play. Well, a lot of action, but not a lot of scoring. The Dukes do lead at 7-3. We'll be back to Bridgeport Stadium in just a moment as you're watching JMU football. It's from Learfield. Ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to Toyota's National Sales Event.
Ooh, RAV4.
It's a great time to save on the 2021s while they last.
Ooh, Venza.
Toyota's got an exciting lineup to choose from.
Oh, Highlander. Could you?
Oh, sure. You have to understand, it's the National Sales Event.
Right now, lease a Highlander for only $299 a month. Or buy a Highlander or Adventure Ready RAV4 and get special low APR financing for 72 months, plus $750 toward your down payment.
Hey, that's my line.
Toyota, let's go places.
Now that you're ready to travel again, we're here to help you make up for the trips you've missed and reunite with family and friends. At SHD, the travel process is easy and stress-free. Plus, we can help you travel smarter with a clean, less crowded travel experience. Our partnership with United allows you to fly comfortably while seamlessly connecting you to those who matter most around the globe. We know you're ready to make up for lost time, and SHD is ready to welcome you back.
Harrisonburg, say goodbye to slow download speeds and broken internet connections. Get the internet you deserve with Glo Fiber, a proud supporter of the JMU Dukes. Glo Fiber is here and offers simple, straightforward internet service. No gimmicks, no contracts, no hidden pricing. Just incredibly fast, reliable service at a fair price. Let your internet service be a bright spot in your day. Visit glowfiber.com and see about your availability. Glo Fiber, brought to you by Chantel.
Welcome back, everyone, to Bridgeport Stadium. The Dukes of James Madison leading at 7-3. And if you're a JMU sports fan, 6th grade or below, register to win the Top Dog Experience, presented to you by Riddleberger Brothers Incorporated. To register for the VIP experience, visit jmusports.com/topdog.
And Kaylon Black with another impressive run. And here we go with the Dukes establishing that dominance at the line of scrimmage, ultimately getting them a nice long drive here.
Dukes in the first quarter of play, 141 yards of total offense on 13 plays, 24 plays run by MSU, tallying 95 yards. Here's Black again, and he rumbles down to the 10-yard line, comes up just shy of the first down. Scoring, Chris Thornton, a 54-yard pass from Cole Johnson. A four-play, 66-yard drive, 7-0 Dukes. That's at 10:02 in the first, and with 6:11 to go, Foster hits a 33-yard field goal, 9 out of 9-play, 50-yard drive.
Yeah, once again, I'm really liking this approach by the JMU offense right here. If it's not broke, don't fix it. They've been able to dominate the line of scrimmage. They've been able to get a ton of rushing yards in this first quarter going into the second right here. So keep it going. Make Morehead State like it.
First and goal for the Dukes. Handoff to Black. Goes right up the middle between his center and the right guard. Holmes comes in to make the stop. Second down and goal at the 5.
Now Morehead State is adjusting defensively, bringing in the bigger personnel. Now this is where we could see Cole Johnson use his arm right here.
Black, 9 carries for 79 yards. Johnson. He'll pass it over the top, and it is caught. Antoine Wells with the touchdown. You know he can do it. Why not go to him and do so? And Wells has his first touchdown in 2021, the fall portion, adding to his career total. He's got 7 to match his jersey number.
Impressive drive right there by the JMU offense. You have a ton of success running the ball. Now when you get Morehead State to commit defensively with bigger personnel, you give the play fake and you hit your all-world young receiver in Antoine Wells for a nice touchdown right there.
Kyle Davis is the long snapper. Alex Miller the holder. Radke the extra point. The same unit the Dukes worked with back in the spring. Snap is down. The kick is up, and Radke pushes it through. 14-3. James Madison with the lead as they score quickly to start this second quarter of play. And we'll return with more from Bridgeport Stadium on a beautiful night here in the Shenandoah Valley. JMU football from Learfield. Welcome back, everyone. I want to thank Pepsi once again. Pepsi, the proud partner of JMU Athletics and the official beverage partner of JMU. Wise will kick it off.
Fair catch by number 3, Michael Parker.
And Amore. And once again, we do want to thank Pepsi, the official beverage provider of JMU Athletics. And Duke fans, if you save with Virginia 529, you're a smart saver and can receive free tickets to watch the Dukes take on Elon on Saturday, October 30th. For details, visit virginia529.com/smartsavers. Virginia 529 is proud to offer this opportunity as the official college savings plan of JMU Athletics. Visit virginia529.com/smartsavers to claim your tickets. At the 25-yard line, Pappas rolls out on the move. He's got a man open, Bird. And an easy catch closed in on by Torres Carroll.
And once again, Morehead State moving the pocket, finding little extra ways to create some time for Pappas because he knows if he sits in the pocket the whole time, this JMU front will be able to create some pressure on him.
Two tight end formation this time. Single receivers to both sides. Aguero, but he's going nowhere as Bryce Carter gets in the backfield. The transfer from Towson lays him out. Let's take a look back at some of the first quarter highlights for you as well. As Dukes came out of the locker room, of course.
Second down, 13.
Coach Tenure. Cole Johnson, 54-yard aerial, got the scoring going to Chris Thornton. Field goal placed through by Andrew Foster. And then the Dukes scored early here in this second quarter of play. It's 14-3.
Yeah, they were able to score off that turnover that this defense was able to create last series. Let's see if they can do that again.
Second down and 13. Pappas over the middle, hits his tight end this time. That's Matt DeBlasio. Kevin Azanama, the linebacker, number 7 on the defensive side of the football for the Dukes, brings him down, but not after a gain of 9 on the play. Second down, making that third down and 1.
Azanama, the really productive defender for the Dukes that actually got ejected last time they played against Morehead State during the spring, so I know he's chomping at the bit to be back out there.
And a third and short and nowhere to go as the Dukes. Bryce Carter is back there. Also in there for JMU was James Carpenter.
Bryce Carter with a couple of productive plays on that last drive. And honestly, you think about going 2 series ago where he had the big hit as well on Pappas. He's starting to heat up, and he's a guy, like I said, that can really create havoc from that DN spot.
Yeah, we're seeing the defensive end starting to become more evident. And going back to punt is Andrew Foster. Foster trying to become the first in Eagle history to average over 40 yards per punt each of his 4 seasons. And that's going to get down. Jack Schroba was back there to return for the Dukes in a favorable role for Morehead as the ball finally comes to a stop at the 5-yard line. So the Dukes are 95 yards away. But the Dukes have an 11-point lead, 14-3. We're going to take a timeout on this beautiful evening here in the Shenandoah Valley once again. Dukes leading at 14-3. You're watching JMU football from Learfield.
At Excel Heating and Cooling, we know you spend a lot of time in your home, maybe more than before. Being comfortable is something you forget about until it becomes a problem. We want you to be comfortable. Get your heating and cooling system tune-up for only $79. We'll make sure your system is keeping you cozy. If there's an issue, we've got solutions, like the Excel Comfort Series heat pumps and furnaces. Excel Heating and Cooling. Comfort by design.
Tea is something to discover. You can't be impatient. When I craft pure leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts. I fine-tune the blend according to what comes from nature. I want people to experience the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. That's why I taste and taste until I craft a smooth, delicious iced tea. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
Behind every team is a great community. Door Gorilla is proud to be the official garage door provider for JMU Athletics. and proud to support their community. When you need a garage door, call 540-740-DOOR and show your support for JMU this season. Go Dukes!
Cross Keys Vineyards. Open daily.
Back here at Bridgeport Stadium, Dukes are leading at 14-3, but they've got their backs up against the wall at the 5-yard line. They've got a long way to go to try to put more on the board, leading at 14-3. We're going to go down to the sideline to rejoin Corey Spector in just a moment. Cole from his own end zone wants to go deep, throws it deep, making the adjustment and missing the opportunity. That was Thornton. Let's take a look at that once again. Fans wanted a flag on it. Tyler Noble on the coverage with Thornton. Ball died a little bit there, Arthur, and Thornton made a pretty decent adjustment to it. Oh, look, he did make some contact before the ball got there.
Yeah, it definitely was, man, by the defender. Looks like he just lost his balance, but if you're Chris Thornton, that's one of those ones that you still feel like you should be able to catch right there.
There is Thornton as he lines up. Double formation each side. Johnson's going to run with the football this time. Spins at the 12 and picks up the Ergie's cheesesteak first down. And speaking of Ergie's, let's go back down to the sideline and let's rejoin Corey Spector.
Well, Kurt, as the Dukes continue to move down the field, they might get in field goal range of Ethan Rackey, who is only 4 field goals away from shattering Dan Carpenter's all-time FCS record for career makes. It's funny, Rackey really never had any intentions of being a place kicker. He was always a soccer player, and back when he was about to join high school, he and his friend went out to the field because his friend wanted to join the high school football team, and Ethan started messing around with the football and determined he was pretty good. He ends up as a junior getting on the varsity team as a football player, and here he is at James Madison. Now, the one thing he's trying to work on right now is his distance, okay? 48 yards is his career high against Sam Houston. He thinks he can get up to 55, maybe up to 58 yards after working with kicking specialist Dan Orner this offseason, who has worked with NFL clients such as Ryan Suckup and Bradley Pinion of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Joey Sly, and Matt Gay as well. So we'll find out how much confidence Coach Signetti has in Rackey this season. Kurt?
Thank you very much there, Corey. And it's good to hear that Ethan's working on the distance. You know, last year during the FCS playoffs, there was a question about why he didn't attempt a field goal.
A critical field goal in that semifinal game against Sam Houston. Absolutely.
Indeed it was, but the Dukes knew that he did not have quite that range at that time. So, of course, he tried to, you either stay the same, you go back, or you get better. And so with Ethan, he found a way to try to get better and just to add some length to his game.
Listen, when you just said that, nothing stays the same. You reminded me of my D-line coach, Coach Price, who's currently with Virginia Tech right there. You either get better or you get worse. And Ethan has been a guy who continues to get better, and I'm glad to hear that he's expanding his range also.
Dukes are faced, though, with a 3rd down and 5. So right now, not in Ethan's range. They'll shift Black here to the near side. 3 receivers to the top. Johnson stands tall, and he will find, slipping through, it's Black. Black to the 40, up to the 50, up the hash marks, and he is dragged down inside the 35, down at the 32-yard line. I think you're going to see the Dukes using their backs as receivers a little bit more this year. I've just got that sense.
All I know is if you're a running back for JMU, you have to have extreme confidence to sit out a game, because a guy like Kaylon Black is coming in here, and he's making a case that he should be the starting running back right now.
Well, I think he's the next feature back. And, of course, you say feature back at JMU, it's really the feature backfield, period.
For that series.
Yeah, for that series, absolutely. And, you know, Percy Obase, who is the returning leader in yards for James Madison, just outside the top 10 all time. He's nursing a hamstring as Cole Johnson takes his first true hit of the day. The Dukes are being very cautious right now and making sure that Percy is available. The Dukes are at home next week. It's league play. It's the Maine Black Bears, always a tough defensive unit, always a smash mouth football when the Maine Black Bears come to town.
Well, and then when you add the element that all of these teams, especially JMU, who had a deep playoff run, they're 3 months removed from a season which, under normal circumstances, is half of the time that you would get for an offseason. So if you're Kurt Signetti right here, you definitely want to be cautious with those guys when it allots in this situation. On paper, should be that case.
Dukes rush the football once again. Looks like a helmet come off. That was Solomon Van Horst that was carrying the football for the Dukes. He was the man that also lost his helmet. Solomon, a redshirt sophomore, 5'8", from Alpharetta, Georgia, out of Milton. 94 career carries coming into this season, 482 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns. There you see Patrick Bentley, one of the backup quarterbacks, and Kyle Adams. Adams out of Indiana, right outside of Purdue is where he grew up. And then Bentley, the transfer from Alderson Broadus. And here goes Black again. Look at that stutter step. Breaking down the defender. He's down to the 15. Gives a stiff arm and runs out of real estate on the edge. But Black, as Ray Gavin brings him down. Let's watch that run again. Look at the way he does these chop steps.
Yeah, sits down 19 in the hole right there. Start and stop ability is very, very key right there for Kaylon Black. And he's showing that burst that he has.
Black had himself a day already. Cole will flare it out here. That's Cheatham. Clayton has it inside the 10. Ray Garvin again making the tackle.
Tackle made by Garvin.
And once again, right there, man, I really like that play call by Shane Montgomery. You're having success running the ball, but you obviously know that Morehead State is going to start packing the box and gearing up for that. So you go back with the pass play right there, just get some more yardage and condense that field a little bit more.
Johnson with Black back in the backfield. Black with 94 yards rushing on 10 carries. He'll take the handoff, finds a bit of a seam. Well, he was going for the first down sticks, but he was cut down abruptly so. Liam Fernattle a little slow to get up for James Madison. Olive with the tackle. Yeah, you don't. And Fernattle missed all but 2 games during the spring because of shoulder surgery. You also notice that he's on the other side of the line of scrimmage in the sense that he was the right tackle in most of his career. They've moved him to the blind side of Cole Johnson at left tackle. And Tayshawn Wyatt is right beside him as the left guard. JT Timmons, again the starting center for the Dukes. In motion, it's Cheatham. And a flag comes down as the play expired. Delay a game is the call, and Coach Signetti I'm sure not too happy about that.
Honestly, it happens at the beginning of the season like this, but that's an operational error, and obviously it costs you in terms of field position. If you're Shane Montgomery right here, what you're going to call for 3rd and 8 yards, drastically different from when it was 3rd and 2.
3rd down, 7.
So 3rd and 7. That's Wells in motion. Cole floats it out. Nice catch. This is Douglas, but Austin can't get free. Now he can. He still breaks the tackle. Still up. Lunges forward. Boy, he ran into a lot of Eagle defenders and could not pick up the first down. Jacob Wild eventually brings him down, and as Corey said, well, as this drive started back at the JMU 5, they do move down the field, and Ethan Ratke has a chance here to get just a little closer to that FCS record for career field goals. He has 72 coming in.
Yeah, Ethan Ratke, all he has to do is just keep lining them up and keep kicking them. And in the words of DJ Khaled would say, another one.
Another one. 394 career points with his 2 extra points. And that is good for Ratke, so that gives him 5 points on the day, 397 his career. And we're going to take a break as Ratke extends the JMU lead 17-3. James Madison, 4:15 to play. Back in a moment. You're watching JMU football from Learfield. And welcome back. It's 17-3, James Madison. Anytime that the Dukes get a sack, it's a sack to give back. Food Line will donate 1,000 meals to feed our neighbors and those that are in need here in Harrisonburg. A total of 33,000 meals will be donated in the communities of participating colleges this season. So let's cheer on the sacks to give back.
Well, you know me as a defender. I'm always going to cheer for more sacks.
Well. And they're just going to take it at the 25. Coming up at halftime, we're going to peek in at, we're trying to bring you back into where we were a couple of years ago in the normal college football environment. Marching Royal Dukes will perform. We got that for you. And we're going to go back, special visit with Les Brannick, one of the two quarterbacks on the very first team in 1972. We'll have that piece for you at halftime as well as a review of our highlights and first half statistics. Again, as we celebrate 50 years of football at James Madison University. They played right over there on F lot when it wasn't a parking lot. Floating it out, Bird, and it's, well, his wing needed to be a little longer than that.
But very interesting approach, though, in terms of them allowing Mark Pappas to continue to air it out, to continue to come in here and spread this Dukes defense out and not allow them to just pin their ears back and create pressure on him.
Their pace has slowed down just a little bit, however. Liam Fernandel, I just saw him hobbling on in to the locker room.
Yeah, hopefully it's nothing significant, and this is more so just into the second quarter. Let's get in there and see the training staff ahead of the third quarter.
Well, the one unit that the Dukes are concerned about coming in is that offensive line because of a lack of depth there and just experience. Sam Kidd coming in, slicing in, making the nice tackle. And so no gain on the play.
Third down situation right here. Look for Bryce Carter to continue to let his presence be felt.
3 out of 7 on third down conversions are the Eagles. They got those new Duke Dog eyes on the video board this year. That's pretty cool. Plays over the game. I like that feature.
No question. And always adds to the element, right?
This is a new video board, by the way. Pass is well overthrown. This facility opened up 10 years ago, and the life of the video board is about 10 years. So back in the summertime, they installed the new one, and it is crystal clear.
And you love to see that
fans,
right there.
Yeah, you see the fans right now just loving it. You feel like you've made it when you get on the video board here, right?
Well, I would say even as a player, that's what you always wanted, right? Do enough to get your picture up there, maybe even have your name included.
I'm okay with just the voice. I don't need to have my picture up there.
Come on, man. We can't have this beautiful face hidden.
It's been hidden for years. Let's keep it that way. And a fair catch called for, and that time it was Swan back to receive the punt, calling the fair catch.
Now, with the Dukes essentially taking over near midfield, I would like to see them continue to be aggressive right here. You just coming off of another productive drive where you scored. Now it's 17-3 with 3 minutes before halftime. Get aggressive and get you another touchdown right here to bookend this half.
Tyler Stevens out of Virginia Beach's Ocean Lakes. Only 3 games under his belt. He goes to play left tackle with Fernandel in the locker room. Handoff off the edge goes Palmer. Palmer to the 50. Stutter steps. Bowls his man over. He's always good for 3 or 4 additional yards just after the contact. And that time Herrera felt the punishment.
Ladies and gentlemen, Latrell Palmer. He knows how to finish runs. If you're a coach, you want to see this as an offensive player. Guys that are always falling forward. Same foot, same shoulder, more power. That's how you end a run right there.
He gives the blow instead of receives the blow. And there he goes again, this time spinning and tripped up just as he gets it over the 40-yard line. Trips up over Wade Acey, the defensive lineman.
when you're looking at your bigger running backs, right, like Latrell is, you want to always see guys that are continuing to fall forward, get those extra yards, because that adds up. And Latrell, you hardly ever see him going lateral or backwards.
It adds up like taking change out of your pocket if you do that type of thing these days. And, putting it on your desk, and the next thing you know, you've got a jar full of pennies. Same thing. It all adds up in the long haul. Latrell to the right side. He'll swing out. And the pass is caught, but no, Wells dropped it. Looked like Antoine, usually pretty good hands even in a situation like that. One of the things about Antoine, the ball can be batted around, and he's got such an awareness. He can make tremendous catches. This time, though, he does not come up with it.
Yeah, unfortunate that he wasn't able to bring that down. But once again, you can see how he's still a young player, and he's still finding himself in his consistency. But I'm not worried about that drop at all for a guy like Antoine Wells.
Noble and all Pioneer Football League honorable mention is there to help break it up. So it's a 3rd down and 9. Johnson has to elude, and here comes some flags. Probably a hold. They may take this play. I'm sure they probably will. So that will result in 4th down.
I believe that was Devin Connors providing the pressure off the left side and ultimately finishing that play off.
Holding offense, number 66. Penalties decline. Is that good place? 4th down.
Todd Boyd is our referee today.
Yeah, nice hand usage right there by Devin. Then obviously in the interior part of that line, get a little bit extra grabbing, which happens sometimes when you're trying to save your quarterback. But as a whole, man, that was a good job by that Morehead front right there.
So onto the field comes the ever-popular Harry O'Kelly. For those of you who follow JMU basketball, I think he's our current Andre Semenoff. Andre was the long time. He played here when you were here.
Absolutely.
I think,
I remember that name.
Well,
yes.
He was here for about 10 years, I think. Well, Kelly might be the oldest football player in the FCS this year.
It happens like that when you have these wacky years. But if you're a fan of specialists, you're getting top-notch guys right here in terms of both punters and obviously Ethan Rackett, the all-world kicker for JMU.
For O'Kelly, that was his 189th career punt. And that's something to be said because the Dukes don't punt quite that often, quite frankly.
Not at all. Typically, these offenses are very productive, very high-powered. So when you're getting a punter out there, it's good to see that he's had longevity to put up the numbers that he has.
17-3. Coach Tenure, 9th year, 34-53, but 0-3 against the Dukes. Actually 0-4 against the Dukes. And he's pushed back. Guerra, the ball carrier. 1:43 to go in the first half of action. Dukes have called a timeout, and our defensive coordinator for the Dukes, Corey Heatherman. Interesting, next week, Heatherman will face his old team. He came to James Madison after really establishing the black hole defense for the Maine Black Bears.
He was very impressive with his time up there.
And he will face the Black Bears. That's one of the programs in the league the Dukes do not face every year. They go through a cycle of facing teams from the north. And there is Corey, the defensive coordinator. He has been in that role since Coach Signetti has come to Harrisonburg.
And he's done a really good job. I mean, when you look at how this defense has been in terms of creating turnovers, we highlighted them in terms of their prowess against the run. Once again, this is another season where they're looking like they should be finishing in the top 10, top 5 in a lot of those categories again.
Well, and they have started to figure out a little bit, too, about this passing game. There are certain reads that you can get when you have the RPO, just the way that the opponent can set up sometimes. And they have to make sure their eyes are where they need to be to defend. Here comes the pressure, and that nearly creates an interception. James Carpenter got in the backfield, and here comes a late flag at the end of the play.
Yeah, this would be interesting right here. Obviously, it was a super late call, but I thought it was clean on the defensive side, so we shall see.
Hang on a second. And they're actually going to call it on the offense, as you mentioned there.
Pass interference. Offense, number 7. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is third down.
We'll get a chance. United Bank will open up the vault and show us again. Big hit by James Carpenter. Was that James?
I believe that is.
Yes, it was. Yep.
And now here we are on the perimeter. Yeah, good work right there by the Dukes defenders.
Yeah, Webb nearly got the interception. A couple of Norfolk guys back there, 7'5" dudes.
Hey now.
On the other side of the river. Cross the Elizabeth there, sir. Come to our side over in Norfolk, right?
Absolutely. But plenty of talent nonetheless.
Former Churchland trucker with us here today. Whoa, up and over. A catch called by de Blasio, and Wayne Davis upends him. Davis, the former Lake Taylor Titan.
Yeah, once again right there, nice job by Pappas, allowing the receiver to get clear of that second window, and then you make a nice hands catch and hold the ball after you're getting up in it as well.
On the run, Aguero is drugged down from behind. James Carpenter, an interesting story too. He was a walk-on and played at Roanoke Catholic, which is a small school, and didn't get a whole lot of looks, whole lot of offers. But you know, he comes here. He's not a real big defensive lineman when it comes to his height isn't all that big, which is one reason he probably ended up at James Madison as well. But he's got a long trunk, and I think that helps him out with his leverage down below.
No, it definitely does, man. And when you're talking about a guy like Carpenter who isn't as decorated, isn't a high pedigree guy, coaches love those players because those are guys that you can relate to. Those are guys that you can point to and say, hey, he doesn't have the most talent in the world, but he works hard and he is dedicated to his craft, and that's ultimately why he's out here playing in this game and playing a good amount of snaps.
Well, he certainly was instrumental last spring with James Madison. There you saw him as he gets down into his stance. Here comes the blitz. And the blitz does work as down goes Pappas. Azanama stepped through. He created the havoc initially, but Chuck Winuke comes in behind him and makes the stop and the sack. So there you have a Food Lion sack. And 1,000 meals to the folks in the Harrisonburg City area from Food Lion. Compliments of Chuck Winuke.
Yeah, that was a really nice blitz right there that Corey Heatherman had drew up. And ultimately, man, all of those guys were able to beat their one-on-ones because when you draw these blitzes up, that's all you're trying to find right there. And right there, they executed that.
That is Chris Chuck Winuke. Don't want folks to think his name is Chuck Winuke. Chris, a redshirt sophomore from Edison, New Jersey, went to the PD school. Does have one interception in his career. That came against Rhode Island back in 2019.
And it's always interesting to see which guy is going to emerge, right? Talk about a guy like MJ Hampton, who we're not seeing out here today, brings a lot of productivity to the defense. So when he is out of the lineup, who steps up for that productivity? Similar to what we talked about with Bryce Carter, now that Mike Green isn't out there, you always want to see who's the next guy in line. And right now, Chris made a really nice play right there.
Well, I told you way back in the first quarter I was going to tell you who's out. So we've talked Percy is out because of the hammy. Kendall Dean is out for the season. He has an ACL tear that occurred in the preseason. Mike Green out. That's just precautionary. And also MJ Hampton. Well, I can always see MJ with his return in 2019. Ball is loose. And the Dukes will recover. No, ball still loose. Let's see who's got it. Well, the pressure coming on here as this first half is coming to a close. 4 seconds. The clock continues to roll.
Jalen Green with really nice pressure right there. And I love the fact that as an edge rusher, as a defender, he's hunting the ball. And that's what he does right there. Force the fumble. Really good play.
Saying MJ Hampton not in the lineup. I was finishing that point too, but there you go. It's knocked away by Green. The other Green who is in the lineup today for the purple and gold.
Yes, and I love the energy that he has right there. Celebrate, young man. Be excited because you earned it.
Dukes go into the locker room at the APC. They lead it by 14, 17-3. We'll be back with our halftime in just a moment. You're watching JMU football coming to you from Learfield.
These are beautiful.
Yes, your new baby is here. Now all you want is to take her for a spin. But you can't.
Stop.
Because your other baby, the human one, just opened a nail salon. No problem. CarMax delivers right to your door, so you don't have to lift a finger. Because that's the way it should be. CarMax.
$17-3 is our halftime score at Bridgeport Stadium as the James Madison Dukes open up the 2021 fall schedule, the normal schedule as you would, and they start their 50th year of playing college football. It's a season long of celebration of 50 years of playing football. I'm Kurt Dudley, been here for a good chunk of those years. You played for a handful of years, Arthur Moats, who also played for Pittsburgh and Buffalo, and next week at this time we'll call you JMU Hall of Famer.
Absolutely, man. A very humbling experience, a very humbling honor. You're a large part of that, though, man. All my highlights, I hear your voice, so I'm glad that, we're able to do this on the back end also.
It's fun. It certainly is fun to do all of that, so thank you again for joining us. Looking at this first half, 95 yards of offense by Morehead State against the Dukes. It was 7-3 at the first quarter. The Dukes here have only limited the Eagles to 33 yards in the second, picking up a couple of touchdowns, or a touchdown, a field goal along the way.
Yeah, I thought the Dukes really stepped up in that second quarter, more so defensively. We saw in that first quarter where Mark Pappas was able to spread them out, but in that second quarter, created a turnover and a ton more pressure and made him really have to play under duress.
Yeah, indeed. So the Dukes starting to get a little more in rhythm in many regards, offensively and defensively. Well, we may show you a little bit of the Marching Royal Dukes in just a moment. We'll be back as you're watching JMU football from Learfield. Good. Welcome back, everyone. Kurt Dudley, Arthur Moats, also Corey Spector here. We're at halftime. We want to bring more normalcy to you. And if you talk about the 50 years of James Madison football, you can't do that without talking about the great halftime performance performances, post-game performances, national performances, national award-winning band, the Marching Royal Dukes. And they're playing a few songs from 1972 that were hits during that time, like Killing Me Softly.
Listen, a hit back then is a hit today. We all know that. And like you said, with the Marching Royal Dukes, they are the cream of the crop as it pertains to bands.
Well, we're going to quiet down and let you enjoy the MRDs, folks.
Open their first halftime of 2021 with Roberta Flack's Killing Me Softly, which the original Madison College Marching Band featured during their inaugural season in 1972. We continue celebrating 50 seasons of memorable performances by bringing back one of the band's most entertaining selections. As JMU football returns to Bridgeport Stadium and Broadway returns to the stage this fall, we hope you enjoy this timeless collection of tunes from one of Broadway's most celebrated musicals.
Tea is something to discover. You can't be impatient. When I craft pure leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts. I fine-tune the blend according to what comes from nature. I want people to experience the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. That's why I taste and taste until I craft a smooth, delicious iced tea. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf. Our thing is tea.
Jerry finally crossed rock climbing off his bucket list, and he has a souvenir to prove it. So how does Jerry get to the bank? He doesn't. At AtlanticUnionBank.com, Jerry can schedule a live video appointment with a knowledgeable banker, ready to help out and answer his questions, all while focusing on other important things. No shoes required. Video appointments that simplify your life. Another reason why the switch is on to Atlantic Union Bank.
At Excel Heating and Cooling, we know you spend a lot of time in your home, maybe more than before. Being comfortable is something you forget about until it becomes a problem. We want you to be comfortable. Get your heating and cooling system tune-up for only $79. We'll make sure your system is keeping you cozy. If there's an issue, we've got solutions like the Excel Comfort Series heat pumps and furnaces. Excel Heating and Cooling. Comfort by design.
17-3, Dukes with the lead over Morehead State here at halftime. Well, between the first and second quarters, while you guys were watching some commercials, we had a special presentation, a recognition, and a number of members. There were 33 players on the initial team in 1972. There's some of the guys out in the parking lot, and they're all recognized. See those bodies today, a little different than what they were then, quite obviously. But it's great to have those men back here with their families to celebrate 1972, the first team. There's a picture of them. All these guys were recruited, or a lot of these guys were recruited out of the chow line and the orientation line. But great to have them back with us today. Now, recently, the man there in the middle I spoke with, Les Brannick. He is a former quarterback here, quarterback from 72 to 75. The first team did not score any points. The 75 team went undefeated. So let's go back and we'll have that conversation with Les Brannick.
Well, we've got a lot of good football ahead of us for 2021, Coach Kurt Cignetti and the Dukes, and we've got a lot of great history behind us at James Madison University as we celebrate 50 years on the gridiron for JMU. And let's go back. What we're going to do this fall is we're going to visit each of the decades, and we'll go back to the first decade, which quite frankly was a little shy of a decade. They had 8 seasons back then. And some of the names to toss out at you that if you're a JMU football historian, you certainly remember that are in the JMU Athletics Hall of Fame: Ron Stith, also Bernard Slayton, Woody Bregaria, and our guest today, Les Brannick, who was one of the first 2 quarterbacks of the 1972 team. And he joins us now. Les, always good to see you, even if we're over Zoom here today. But always good to see you, of course, and good to talk JMU football. Welcome once again.
Thank you so much. It's just an honor and a pleasure to be here with you tonight.
Indeed, I do enjoy having you here. And as I mentioned, 8 seasons during the 70s, 43, 30, and 1. Unless what I'm starting off with most of our guests is if you were to kind of compartmentalize and make a description of the decade that we're speaking of, how would you describe the 70s for JMU football? I kind of call it the infancy of JMU football.
Well, it certainly was because, the football team really got announced to start in the summer of 1972. And Coach McMillan had a monumental task in front of him to put together a staff and try to recruit players out of the orientation lines to get a team assembled to play that fall about 4 months later, which he was able to do. And I think we had a total of about 33 players on that team, which was pretty tough year, as you know. But, everybody that we played with, I think it's really also we were laying the foundation for the program, especially those years in the 70s, those early years, and what Coach McMillan and his staff were able to do in those early years of both recruiting really high-quality players. You named some of them already that were able to come in the next couple of years and build that foundation, as well as outstanding coaches like our defensive line coach, George Knight, who coached Woody Bregaria, as well as Ellis Whistler was defensive coordinator for many years, and he did a great job and stayed with Coach McMillan a long time. Coach Knight stayed on Coach McMillan's staff his whole tenure here at JMU. So, we were really lucky to have some coaches that came in and really did a fantastic job and provided a lot of consistency, through the years in those 70s.
Well, and certainly it was difficult, as you mentioned. You announced you're going to play football, and 4 months later you're playing football. That's quite the blitz of getting a program together. Only 33 players. And the first game, it has its own lore in the sense that it was played right there where folks that are new to the program in the last several years is where F-Lot is. It was Godwin Field. And tell us a little bit about that experience, Les.
Well, we only played one game on Godwin Field. Our first 2 years, we were scheduled to play over at the high school, at Harrisonburg High School. But the night before the first game, we were hit with a very, very bad storm. Rainstorm, and it really flooded almost the valley. It seemed like we had a lot of rain, and the high school let us know, let the athletic department, Mr. Ehlers, know, I think on Friday evening, that they weren't going to be able to play Saturday on the high school field. It would probably be too much damage to it. So the coaches had to put together the next plan, which was to convert our practice field into a game field for that first opening game. So we played one game on on the Godwin Field, which is now the F lot, where I enjoy a lot of tailgating currently.
And I'm pretty sure he was tailgating today on the F lot. 17-3 is our halftime score. The Dukes leading it over Morehead State. We'll get back with more of our halftime. You're watching JMU football from Learfield. Yeah, that worked well. Our timing's good.
It's turning into a primetime game.
In front as they have led from the get-go. Well, let's take a look at some other scores from out of town today. Let's see what interesting they have come up with us to share with you here this evening. We got a few more minutes before we kick off the second half here. William & Mary and Virginia. Virginia with the early first quarter lead, 3-0. Elon loses today to the Wofford Terriers 24-22. Elon comes to town here in early October. So that's just a couple of scores we do have for you from out of town. Of course, Virginia Tech winning last night 17-10. Most folks know about that one. A lot of big-time college football games around the country today, too. We're certainly honed in on the Dukes here this evening against Morehead. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half, won't we, Arthur? Excuse me.
Absolutely. As we got a nice lady right here dancing and enjoying the scenery.
Coach T and his team.
Cole Johnson with the nice strike.
And that's good for 54 yards. Chris Thornton into the end zone for the Dukes. The field goal, that's of 33 yards from Foster, Andrew Foster.
Cole Johnson finding Antoine Wells for the touchdown.
Yep, here's another good look over the middle, and this time it's a nice run for Kalon Black. Black again, who had a very good first half of play. Ended up with 11 carries, 96 yards. And Ratke with the field goal that capped off the scoring in the first half. Take a look at our statistics in just a moment as well. There's Pappas. He did get sacked.
And there's the Jalen Green forced fumble.
Yep. Yeah, look, yards rushing, -22. This was a negative yard rushing situation for Morehead last year. And again, Morehead with 95 total yards in the first quarter, but only 33 there in the second. The Dukes, they were actually pretty balanced when it comes to the overall total yardage in that ball game.
Yeah, the Dukes, though, once again showing their prowess in terms of stopping the run. -22 yards by Morehead State on the ground. You think about last spring when they played, I believe Morehead State ended with -6 yards on the ground as well. So you can see right here the defense continuing their stiffness against the run.
Well, I told you the injured list here. Percy, Kendall Dean, Mike Green, and MJ Hampton also out with a foot injury. And some players that are no longer with the program. Gage Maloney, he's up at Bryant. They play today. Jawan Hamilton, I was really disappointed he transferred because I thought he was a good 1-2 punch. But he ended up with 60-some-odd yards rushing yesterday for Eastern Michigan. Also, Ray Gillespie and Mike Glavin decided to hang up their spikes, although they had another year of eligibility. But those were some very experienced players. I just wanted to make you aware of that they're no longer a part of the program, that they have moved on, either transferring or finishing up their James Madison career. So that's just the personnel situation as it is right now. And next week, the Dukes do entertain Maine. The Black Bears, they put up 24 points in the second quarter on Thursday night against Delaware, but Delaware shut them out the second half and ended up winning 34-24.
And as we've all saw with the postseason last year, it doesn't matter how you start the game. It is all about how you finish.
You got to finish. Yes, we do know, and that's still a little bit of a nightmare, and maybe they can remedy that a little bit. Pooch kick to the 30. The Dukes will get excellent field position. Again, Cheatham will down it at the 30-yard line, so the Dukes will start offensively from there.
And even though that's a routine play right there in terms of the sky kick and them fair catching it, when you go back to their last time on the field, they struggled fielding kicks. They struggled with that. They put a ball on the ground in that semifinal matchup against Sam Houston. So it's good to see them correcting those errors later on in this, obvious, a couple months later.
Yeah, I'm with you. I keep saying last year as well.
I know. I'm like, it's only a couple of months ago.
In the spring. Cheatham will go in motion, and he'll settle down on the right side. That is Black. Black cuts up against the grain, finds a bit of a seam, and picks up 4, maybe 5 yards on his initial carry. So that should push him over 100 yards rushing in tonight's matchup.
Yeah, Kaylon Black has done a really good job today. He's really making a case for himself having a more defined role going forward.
Black with one big game last year for the Dukes, and here on the edge, it is Wells. They want him to get touches as Keith drives him out of bounds.
And from my experience, when you have very talented receivers like that, you do want to find ways to get them the ball. You want them to feel like they're a part of this game plan. And for Antoine right there, he's making the most of every opportunity he gets.
Picks up an Ergie's cheesesteak first down. That's the 12th of the afternoon and into the evening for James Madison. And there goes Black. No, it's a good handoff fake to Black. He had me biting on it, and instead he was going for Wells over the middle.
Yeah, and that was good coverage on the back end by Morehead State. They had a bracket coverage going on at Antoine Wells, and Cole just tried to throw it over the top, but ultimately wasn't able to get that completion in there.
2nd and 10 for the Dukes.
2nd and 10 for James Madison. It's at the 47-yard line. Johnson will move Noah Turner over. And here goes an open hole for Latrell Palmer. Palmer to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown. Latrell Palmer from 47 yards out. Another big scoring play for James Madison this evening.
Typically when we speak on Latrell Palmer, we're not talking about him as a speed back, but the 6-foot, 220-pound guy found a hole and showed the burst to get that ball into the end zone. Very impressive run and ultimately expanding this lead.
Yeah, Palmer usually the bruiser, but he finds himself some open space and rumbles on towards the end zone for the touchdown. He did have that's not his career long. He had a 69-yarder against Villanova. Ratke with the point after zips it on through, and the Dukes strike quickly. 24-3 is our score, as the Dukes watch Latrell Palmer celebrate in the end zone. You're watching JMU football from Learfield.
Welcome to Toyota's National Sales Event.
Ooh, RAV4.
It's a great time to save on the 2021s while they last.
Ooh, Venza.
Toyota's got an exciting lineup to choose from.
Oh, Highlander, could you?
Oh, sure. You have to understand, it's the National Sales Event.
Right now, lease a Highlander for only $299 a month. Or buy a Highlander or Adventure Ready RAV4 and get special low APR financing for 72 months, plus $750 toward your down payment.
Hey, that's my line.
Toyota, let's go places.
Cross Keys Vineyards. Open daily.
Behind every team is a great community. Door Gorilla is proud to be the official garage door provider for JMU Athletics and proud to support their community. When you need a garage door, call 540-740-DOOR and show your support for JMU this season. Go Dukes!
Hey, Harrisonburg, say goodbye to slow download speeds and broken internet connections. Get the internet you deserve with GlowFiber, a proud supporter of the JMU Dukes. GlowFiber is here and offers simple, straightforward internet service. No gimmicks, no contracts, no hidden pricing, just incredibly fast, reliable service at a fair price. Let your internet service be a bright spot in your day. Visit glowfiber.com and see about your availability. GlowFiber, brought to you by Chantel.
Bojangles is the official tailgate partner of JMU Athletics. Don't forget to pick up your Bo Box and cheer on the Dukes. It is Bo time. Well, it's time for the Dukes to kick it off after the long run for Latrell Palmer. Camden Wise tees it up for James Madison. It is Bird. And Armour back to receive. Bird will call for the fair catch. They'll take it at the 25 once again.
It's always funny to see how that dynamic works, right? You return the first one, you get stuck inside the 20-yard line. Since then, we have not seen BJ or the other return man bring out anything since then.
4 plays, 70 yards, just 1:02 off the game clock here in the third quarter as the Dukes expand the margin 24-3. Defensive unit back out there for James Madison. And we'll see if what Morehead can whip up here to start this second half with its offense. Christian Graves and Bird, part of the trips formation. Also out there is Guilfoyle, and the pass goes through Guilfoyle's hands. Incomplete.
Yeah, once again right there, Mark, just trying to find him a little bit of rhythm early, right? We saw in that second quarter, the JMU defense really figured out Morehead State on offense and ultimately caused them to have a lot of negative plays right there. So we'll be interested to see how they adapt, what adjustments they made at the half.
Pappas, an all PFL, that's the Pioneer Football League first teamer, led the PFL in efficiency and several other categories, floats it out. Aguera does a nice job of eluding the first tackler, slips that and gains a couple of yards on the play.
And that was a good call right there in terms of Mark right there trying to ultimately find a little bit more time. We see this Dukes defense is getting a little bit more aggressive. The pressure starting to get back there on Mark, and now he's just trying to figure out ways to help himself and buy more time.
Got a cramp, I think it is, for Aguero, and they picks him up. He goes off the field. Good to see Isaac Ukwu out there, number 0 this year, after 2 years of coming back from injuries, as Corey Spector explained earlier. Had the pleasure of having Isaac in class. You know, I challenged him with writing a commercial. He did a really nice job and voiced it over.
I like that right there. Showing that you are a true student athlete.
And that is picked by Torres Carroll. The Dukes have their second INT this evening. The last one resulted in JMU points.
Man, that was a really impressive play right there by Carroll. I like how he's very physical at the point of attack, but then from there, getting his head around and ultimately being able to finish this play right here. But good work right there, seeing the ball, because a lot of times on the perimeter, guys that don't get their head around, guys that aren't able to play the ball, they get flagged a lot. But right there, Carroll did a really good job.
Puts the Dukes in excellent position at the 33-yard line of Morehead. Austin Douglas in the backfield, moves to the right side, faking the handoff. Now Cole going to the right. He's got a man, beats his man. Touchdown. Oh, the ball comes free. I lost it in Madison.
Man, I like the aggressive call right there, though. And good placement by Cole, giving his receiver a chance to make that play.
Noble.
It hits him right in the breadbasket.
Yeah, Noble has been one of the primary defenders today for Morehead State. And for Johnson, 10 out of 17, 164 yards, a couple of touchdowns. He has Cheatham switch over to the right side. 3-step. Lofts it up. He's got Wells. Wells has the football. And it's 1st and goal for the Dukes inside the 5. They mark him out at the 3-yard line.
Mike Shanahan right there with an aggressive play call again. Whenever you get a turnover, especially by midfield, you want to take a shot. And Cole finds his all-world young receiver, Antoine Wells, who does a good job of getting his feet inbounds on that sideline.
That's Austin Douglas. Yeah, Mike Shanahan has moved up to the offensive coordinating role. And Tino Sunsiri has come on as the quarterback's coach. His father, Sal, is the linebackers coach down at Alabama. And he goes back. He was a linebacker at Pitt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so in your neck of the woods there.
Absolutely.
Your current neck of the woods. So it goes to that Western PA connection back to the Signettis as well. That was Palmer, but nowhere to go for Luttrell this time.
Yeah, the Morehead State front was definitely prepared for that, and they did a good job of ultimately showing that they're not going to allow JMU to just run the ball whenever they get into, 5 or 6 yards away from the end zone right here.
The timing seemed a little bit off, too, for the Dukes on the exchange. Again, here on the left side for James Madison on that left tackle, it is Tyler Stevens. No Liam Fernattle. Johnson back to pass, has protection. He's got a man. An easy touchdown. Second of the day, Chris Thornton.
That was a nice job right there by Cole, just being patient, letting Chris's route develop and become open. Just a simple drag right from the front side of the formation where he was outside of the 3-receiver set. Drags across, blown coverage, easy throw and catch right there for Chris. Touchdown.
Officially, it's a 5-yard TD. Second of the game for Thornton. Radke will try the extra point. The Dukes up to 380 yards of total offense, 198 through the air, 182 on the ground. Pretty darn good balance. And I think we do want to give the offensive line some credit. They're getting
we got to give
done.
them credit. Absolutely.
Yep. We're going to take a timeout as the Dukes starting to pull away big time now, 31-3. Still a lot of this third quarter yet to play. Back with more from Learfield. CarMax is proud to be the season presenting sponsor of the 2021 JMU football season. CarMax, the way car buying should be, season number 50 for the Dukes of James Madison. We've got a kickoff coming up once again. As Wise will tee it up, the Dukes pushing their lead out, the 5-yard touchdown toss to a wide open Chris Thornton, and another fair catch. Well, Arthur, you keep talking about it's a short time between last spring and this year. And, you know, during the off season, players oftentimes, they try to get better, as you mentioned. They learn new things.
Little things. Yes.
Learn new things. Well, Clayton Cheatham learned a new stance, if you would.
Whoa, now.
Let's send it down to Corey.
Well, thank you, Kurt. And I'm now joined by Savannah Baldwin, former JMU cheerleader and recently engaged to JMU tight end Clayton Cheatham. Savannah, thanks so much for joining us. And how does it feel to be back on the sidelines?
It feels amazing. I mean, this is home for me. Sidelines is where I've watched all of my games, so I love being back here.
Well, I'm going to take you back to July 2nd, Rappahannock River.
Yeah.
Tell us about the events of that day.
Well, I got engaged. Clayton surprised me, and he got down on one knee and had a whole party planned for us. I had no idea, and it was just the most special day. I'll remember it forever.
Now, this day almost didn't happen. If you think about it, Clayton was about to walk on at UVA. You were about to go to Tennessee. So how different do you think your lives would have been if those decisions were made?
I mean, I don't think we would be where we are today. He was going to be in Virginia. I would be somewhere else. At the end of the day, we both decided JMU just by chance, and it all worked out, and we couldn't be happier.
Savannah Baldwin, former JMU cheerleader, joining us on the sidelines. Kurt, back up to you.
Thank you very much, Corey, and congratulations to the Cheathams. You know, one night after a ball game, we actually had an engagement here on the field. I had I called a diaper derby that year, and also a play-by-play of an engagement on the field.
Hey, you love to see it, and no better place to find love than at a JMU football game.
Well, we know your family loves football, of course.
Oh, yeah, my family's obsessed with football. Even if it was a spring game, you know they would be up here.
All right, 3rd down and long. 3rd and 13 for Morehead. And the crowd of 22,229 let their voices be heard. A few of them have left, but a good number of them have also stuck around. Pappas over the middle, and it's behind. Is it caught? They say it is. Yes, it's indeed a catch. The Dukes have their 3rd interception of the night. This time it's Greg Ross.
Greg Ross has been playing really good on the perimeter, right? We talked about his range, we talked about his length, but ultimately his ball skills right here are on display. Good job at the catch point. In terms of using his hands, getting underneath the ball before it hit the ground, and ultimately securing that catch for a nice turnover right here.
The North Carolina transfer gets his first pick as a Duke. He's out of Temple Hills, Maryland, went to Potomac, 6'1", 186-pounder. Nice young man to talk to, and he has found a home here at James Madison. Looks like they're going to replay. This is a review. This is the first time we're seeing a review this evening, as they will go to the replay booth to figure this one out. Well, the Dukes next week are back in home action. It's the Maine Black Bears. Arthur will be enjoying the weekend, being inducted next Friday night to the JMU Athletics Hall of Fame. Another football player, David McLeod, the all-time yards receiving leader in JMU's football history. So those two young men will go in to the hall. We'll have a great time next Friday night. I guarantee it.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I've heard plenty about the Hall of Fame festivities. It's something that I've always wanted to be a part of, and now I'm gonna get that chance. And you know, like I said, it's just awesome to be down here the week prior to as a prequel to the celebration.
Exactly. Now, full disclosure, you came by yourself this week because, hang on.
The field stands. Interception. First down, James.
All right, interception for the Dukes. It does stand. The family stayed home in Pittsburgh because back-to-back weekends with the kids in school, you said, was just a little too much.
Yeah, it would have been a little overwhelming for them. Obviously, they just started their 2nd week of school. So we figured, man, to take them out this week and then turn around and do it again the following week would be a lot on them.
Oh, you see the nice catch there by Ross. Yep, and the Dukes have possession again in Morehead State territory at the 41-yard line, leading at 31-3. And they're looking for more here in the second half. Last year's final 52-0. Palmer was wide open. Instead, he's going to come again to Thornton, who also had plenty of steps on his defender. Another Ergi's cheesesteak first down as Garvin arrives to bring him down. First down and 10 at the 20-yard line.
And once again, a very aggressive call, right? When you get a turnover, you want to take shots down the field, and that's ultimately what the JMU Dukes offense just did.
Cheatham, I just told you his story, is at tight end. And it's Palmer doing the work here in the second half. Johnson, 13 out of 20, 219 yards, the 3 touchdowns.
And you want to talk about a thunder and lightning combination today. We've seen Kaylon Black with his shiftiness, his ability to stop and go, and obviously the troubles that's created for this Morehead State defense. Then you bring in Latrell Palmer, who's just been a battering ram in this second half. Man, if you're that Morehead State defense, your head has to be spinning.
Second down, 9.
This time, Van Horst in the backfield. Plenty of time, and it's Cheatham. Beg your pardon. No, that is Noah Turner, another transfer from North Carolina.
It looks like it's decision time again. Here we go, third down, but the field is condensed because they're in the red zone. How do they handle this? Are they going to go and try to be a little aggressive here, or do they just try to run this and get this first down and keep the clock running?
Third down and 5. So you've got a couple of Carolina transfers with the Dukes making some contributions here tonight. And all alone, it is Van Horst breaks the tackle into the end zone. He dives inside the pylon. Touchdown, James Madison University, as the Streamers go flying here at Bridgeport Stadium once again.
Solomon Van Horst showing the speed. As you can see on this replay right here, they fast released him out the backfield, and then from there it's a foot race. And when it's Solomon in a foot race, I'm always taking Solomon. He beats the defenders to the pylon for another touchdown for the JMU Dukes.
That's his second receiving touchdown in his James Madison career. And for the first time in his career, Cole Johnson has a 4-touchdown day. Now go back to Sam Houston. He had 3 in that ball game, so 7 in back-to-back games. And Arthur, I did the math. If the Dukes would have played 11 games last year and say no postseason, let's say Correct. It was a regular season. Sorry for the redundancy there, but you know what I mean. He would have finished between Ben DiNucci and Vad Lee with the 9th best single-season yards passing season as a Duke in 49 history. So 49 years.
Very impressive.
Just want to get that out there about how good Cole was since the Elon game. Dukes are pretty good right now. They're well out in front. Back with more after this. You're watching JMU football from Learfield.
COVID-19. Here at Centera,
we want to say thank you.
Thank you to our community leaders, faith-based clergy, city leaders, and volunteers. Without your tireless efforts, many would have gone unvaccinated.
Thank you to our team members bravely serving on the front lines, putting the health of patients before all else.
Together, our community partners and team members made progress possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all that we achieved together.
These are beautiful.
Yes, your new baby is here. Now all you want is to take her for a spin. But you can't.
Stop.
Because your other baby, the human one, just opened a nail salon. No problem. CarMax delivers right to your door, so you don't have to lift a finger. Because that's the way it should be. CarMax.
Now that you're ready to travel again, we're here to help you make up for the trips you've missed and reunite with family and friends. At SHD, the travel process is easy and stress-free. Plus, we can help you travel smarter with a clean, less crowded travel experience. Our partnership with United allows you to fly comfortably while seamlessly connecting you to those who matter most around the globe. We know you're ready to make up for lost time, and SHD is ready to welcome you back.
Virginia Business Systems has been solving our customers' most challenging business problems for over 65 years. With best-in-class office productivity solutions from Konica Minolta, HP, Xerox, and Lexmark, Virginia Business Systems provides fast-forward office technology that saves time and money for your business. Call or visit our website today and see how VBS can help your company grow through superior technology and service.
CarMax is proud to be the season presenting sponsor of the 2021 JMU football season. CarMax, the way car buying should be. 38-3, James Madison. Dukes were leading 17-3 at the half, and they have dominated since coming out of the locker room. And this copyrighted telecast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by James Madison University. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the express written consent of James Madison University and Learfield.
And now, interesting situation right here. Because of the mishandling of the ball on the return, looks like they're going to be taking this ball at the 9-yard line compared to your traditional 25-yard line on the touchback right here. So, once again, some self-inflicted wounds for Morehead State. But if you're this JMU defense, you want to continue this, man. When things get rolling for you and you have this type of momentum, you want to continue to keep that foot on the pedal, and that's what they're going to ultimately do right here.
Yeah, that stings a bit back at the 9. They've been bottled up much of the second half of play. They're up to 152 yards of total offense, but 3 interceptions for the Dukes. Q Reed has one of those. He comes up with the tackle.
Yeah, whenever you're a team like Morehead State facing a team like JMU where you know talent-wise it might not be equal, you cannot have this self-inflicted wounds. When you talk about 3 turnovers in a span of 2 quarters, those are self-inflicted and ultimately change the outcome of this game.
David Davis with that last catch and nearly another interception. Well, that was just a cold claw away as the defensive end was out there on the coverage. Number 45 for the Dukes, a transfer from Temple.
Absolutely, man. If you're Mark Pappas, be careful with this ball. You cannot afford another turnover right now. This game has gotten out of hand, but if they can get a drive right here, maybe they can, get a little bit more momentum going for themselves.
Pappas has put it in the air 35 times, completing 18 of those for 164 yards. Quarterback rating of 73.6, and he's going over the top. And down goes one of the JMU coaches. Jamari Currents there on the defense.
Man, that looks like that was the coach. One by the name of Kurt Signetti right there.
I couldn't really tell when he was down. I was afraid of that, quite honestly. But he does take the hit.
Well, as a defender that's used to playing cut blocks, I would tell Coach Kurt Signetti, you have to kill the head first. Don't allow the head to get to your legs like that.
And a first down, a nice play. It's been a while. Devontae Adams races over to the far edge to pick up the first down. Adams out of Fishers, Indiana. 13 catches, 142 yards, and twice last year a season high of 4 catches in a ball game.
And honestly, this is the first little bit of success that the Morehead State offense has had in this second half right here. Let's see if they can put this drive together and finish it with some points.
Pappas will run up the middle as he felt the pressure. And a catch by Adams, by the way, that ties his career high. He's got 4 catches for 22 yards. That one just completed was for his long of 21. So the other catches didn't go very far, quite obviously.
Yeah, this has been a very lopsided approach by the Morehead State offense, and it's looking like Pappas is dealing with some cramps as well, as you see himself adjusting with his legs and doing different stretches.
Pappas in this game last year, 5 for 14, an interception, only 28 yards. They did use 3 quarterbacks against the Dukes here in February, and the man is wide open. That was a busted assignment, very apparently. That was too open.
Yeah, definitely some type of confusion over there on that side. But I like the finish right there by Q Reed. I believe that was on the tackle.
It was. Q Reed comes in to make the stop. Q played in 7 games during the spring, a career-high 7 tackles against the Keydets of VMI in the playoffs, and also had an interception against Morehead last year, so he's got a couple. Actually, both of his interceptions in his career have come against Morehead. He'll probably go into Mr. White's office and say, hey, schedule them again.
Absolutely.
Talk about another former JMU football player, Kevin White, to Assistant Athletics Director James Madison, and works very closely with the JMU football program, a number of programs. In fact, he was out at Oklahoma City with the softball Dukes. What a great run that was.
Man, one of the historical runs that the whole world paid attention to.
And Dukes came back to Harrisonburg on cloud 9. And Bird makes a beautiful catch. He made a wonderful adjustment. He saw the football. There with him was Antonio Webb, got his head turned the opposite way, and Bird really battled for that catch.
Yeah, BJ Bird has been very impressive today in terms of his receiving ability. We know Pappas is really going to him and force-feeding him at times, but BJ has done a really good job of just creating separation and making combat catches, as we just saw right there.
Bird 8 catches for 83 yards, so he's averaging 10.4 yards per catch. That last one, I beg your pardon, let's update that. 8 for 116.
Looks like we got a little laundry pre-snap.
False start. Offense. Number 72.
That'll back him up a little bit. Jacob Ungrew from Mainville, Ohio, transferred from Urbana, which is another school in Ohio. A lot of these players received Pioneer League honorable mention and postseason honors after particularly the run down the stretch. And the Pioneer League, it's sort of, I would say it's the equivalent to Conference USA when it comes to geography in FCS, because they've got teams in Florida,
absolutely,
Ohio, Indiana, California. Let me think a few others maybe too.
I'm sure some Minnesota in there somewhere, right?
could be. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. Again, the Dukes next weekend against the Maine Black Bears, and that is a 4 o'clock kickoff. And David Taylor will actually join me in the booth next week. Now, Arthur, you'll come back for one more game in October.
Yeah. Day before Halloween, actually,
okay,
the 30th. So that'll be a fun time.
With Elon in town.
Kirk Signetti's old stomping grounds as well.
And then the other games, the balance of the games, Steve Buckants will come back to town and work with us. Delighted to have Steve back in.
See, the thing is, we're all excited to be in here with you, Kurt. That's why you got to switch us out every once in a while.
I enjoy having all you guys in here. I wish we had more games to work with, but it's always been a pleasure to, it was a pleasure from you, to follow your career and to work with you as a student athlete, and then watch you afterwards and the success that you had. And Bucky, I knew about him. He was here before I got here. Back, Bucky was here right after the football started to be played here at JMU. I came a few years later, but still. There's a catch again. It's Bird. Well, he is really battling for those, as you said.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Greg does a really good job with his hands in terms of just not allowing a free release by BJ. But BJ and his back shoulder just relationship with Pappas right there, you see them being able to create those type of completions like that. But that's a really good job by BJ.
New quarterback. And he's just going to take it. Actually, is the Wildcat as Aguero takes the direct snap. Tucker Dorsey smells it out, and no gain on the play.
Yeah, really good job right there by Tucker Dorsey. He's obviously a guy that is an impact player for this Dukes defense, but they were not fooled by this Wildcat at all.
And again, up there in the middle and not much doing.
Yeah, once again, they tried to go back to the Wildcat well right there. And I understand what they're trying to do, but this Duke's defense is too physical up front for this to work.
And they're going to go for it, 4th down. Aguero, and he will find the end zone. Does he? Yes, he does break the plane of the end zone. And so for the first time since they started this series, this is the 5th time they played in the season opener since this side of the stadium was constructed. They get more points than any other matchup here against the Dukes. They 7-7-7-0, and they put up another touchdown here and the extra point to follow.
No, that was an impressive drive by them. Remember, this drive started backed up because of the miscue on special teams, but they were ultimately able to punch it in, and good job by Isaiah getting that ball across the plane.
That's a 91-yard drive. They started back at the 9. All right, the Dukes expand the lead even further, or excuse me, the lead is sliced down just a little bit, I should say, 38-10. Let's go back to field level, brought to you by Ergies, and this update with Corey Spector. Corey?
Well, thank you, Kurt. I was just near the huddles for both the offense and the defense. We'll start with Corey Heatherman on the defensive side. He wants his players to continue to play with intensity and step on the opponent's throats. Now, I also got a chance to listen in to Tino Sinceri, the new offensive quarterbacks coach for the Dukes, and he wants his team to continue to play with pace on the offensive side. Yes, the lead might still be 28 points, but the Dukes still have that fervor, that tenacity to continue. You could hear Curt Cignetti, the head coach, saying, do not let them into the end zone. And of course, that's what just happened for the Morehead State Eagles. Back up to you, Kurt.
Thank you very much, Corey. And, you know, it goes back, what I said is one of the keys to the game, establish offensive rhythm. You also want to finish the game in an offensive rhythm to hopefully carry that over into next Saturday when they face the Maine Black Bears.
Absolutely, and you have to think for Curt Cignetti and this JMU team, the last time they were on the field, what happened? They started slow, then they got hot, obviously had a big lead going into the third quarter, but they didn't finish the way that they needed to finish and ultimately let Sam Houston back in the game, and it cost them in the end right there. So if you're Coach Cignetti, you want to make sure you're preaching that every single game regardless of opponent.
Dukes will take the kickoff at the 20. Bit of a seam there, and that was Van Horst. Boy, he took a big hop. Hit at the top of the helmet there, but he pops right back up. Let's take a look at the scoring summary for you, as it's a 12-play, 91-yard drive, 5:05 off the clock, and Aguero with the 2-yard touchdown run.
And Cole Johnson coming back out here at quarterback. Let's see if they can continue that tempo that Coach Shanahan was actually talking about in terms of when to keep that pressure going.
This is a straight handoff. A lot of running room here on the near side. A little stiff arm breaks one tackle, then spinning. This is one of the newcomers for James Madison, the transfer. Lorenzo Bryant, the transfer from Rhode Island. He is tackled by Noble.
As if they needed another productive running back.
So Bryant remains out there for JMU. So the Dukes have 3 transfers within the conference: Maine, Towson, and Rhode Island. And Bryant with another carry.
A nice physical finish right there by Brian as well. And when you're talking about these running backs, as productive as they are, you know the carries are going to be very scarce. So you have to earn more. You have to earn your role. And right there, Brian finishing the run that way will definitely make the coaches look at him and be excited.
First down for the Dukes. Another Ergies cheesesteak first down. Johnson has already thrown for 4 touchdowns. Dumps this one off. And Latrell Palmer tried to catch it between his knees, but nothing doing. Incomplete, second down.
Yeah, and I would like to see JMU go back to running the ball a little bit here. I thought they had a nice thing going when they were using that combination of Latrell Palmer and obviously Kaylon Black. I think they should go back to running the ball and establishing that dominance again, because that's ultimately what opened up the pass plays.
Second down and 10. Look at the trips to the top side. Bringing Sims in motion. The handoff, though, to Palmer. He's free to the 40, cuts back to the 35, gets some contact at the 30, and is dropped at the 28-yard line. Latrell Palmer with another strong run.
When you have a physical back like Latrell Palmer, when you have the offensive line getting the movement, they are getting up front. You see 52, you see 74 pulling around like that, creating the big hole for Latrell, and look at the finish, once again, falling forward.
1st and 10 for the Dukes, another from Ergies. Johnson drops this off to the tight end. Keith makes the tackle as the ball hauled in for the Dukes, coming up with a reception.
Yeah, Drew Painter, man, just right there, seeing this soft spot in the zone, sitting down, nice catch, keeping the drive alive.
Yeah, Painter, Cheatham, Turner. Bullock is injured right now, but a good grouping of tight ends. That's Painter again, was in motion. This time it's out to Wells. Wells breaks it down a bit and carries it down to the 10-yard line. Wells with 1 touchdown reception today. Clock continues to move. 1:24 to go in the 3rd. There's a good look at Wells.
And there's Tyler Noble also making a nice tackle, just keeping Wells out the end zone. But Wells is the guy right here, and I would like to see them to go back to him right here.
One-on-one coverage with Noble. Instead, they'll hand it off right up the middle. It is a very Latrell Palmer-like run. Carries it inside the 5. The Dukes have a 1st and goal to go.
I mean, when you're looking for fun things to do while watching games like this, just count how many times Latrell Palmer never goes down on first contact. This is a guy that is very physical when he runs the ball. He punishes defenders.
1st and goal at the 5. Influences to the left. Palmer cuts it back that way as the Dukes had the tight ends, 2 of them lined up there. Let's see, here comes Cheatham back in. Cheatham and Turner, so they'll bring a couple of more tight ends out there.
Yeah, on defense, this is what we call 13 personnel right here. 1 running back, 3 tight ends. You're expecting some type of big, heavy personnel grouping trying to run the ball here.
Under center goes Johnson, hands it off to Palmer. Palmer makes his way into the end zone. Touchdown. Stayed on his feet after that initial contact, as we see him do oh so often. And this time it pays off with 6.
Latrell Palmer, the second half running back of your JMU Dukes right there, showing just the power element once again. Never going down on first contact, carrying defenders. It doesn't matter. He is going to get into the zone right there, and ultimately that's what he did to expand this JMU lead even further.
The 9th play of the drive, it goes 63 yards, and it is Drew Painter that is down for James Madison, as a trainer has gone out to speak with him.
Yeah, we saw Drew have that nice catch earlier on this drive as well, man. So hopefully this is nothing significant.
Take a look at the scoring drive summary. It's also a pretty good look at that MC, the Madison College logo.
You gotta love it. It is beautiful.
Ryan Snyder, the trainer, taking a look. 9 plays, 63 yards, 3 minutes and 27 seconds. And the touchdown for Palmer.
Man, that was a Latrell Palmer drive right there. I mean, we saw him run after run. I like the fact that Coach Mike Shanahan did not stray away from that. We talked about that a little bit on that drive. Don't get enamored with the pass. You're having too much success running the ball, not just wearing the clock down, but you're wearing down this defense as well.
Palmer, 9 carries, 98 yards. He's got a healthy 10.9 yards per carry. Now, of course, he had that 47-yarder that he ripped off as Painter is helped over to the sideline. There is some depth at tight end, but you don't like to see this, particularly late in a ball game, which is lopsided to begin with. But you got to still play the game, don't you?
Yeah, you definitely do. And obviously you can't account for injuries happening, and you never want to go out there and play not to get hurt. It's just a price of doing business at times. But once again, right there, Latrell Palmer, physical, physical, physical.
Radke will add more points to his career total. And he does so. 45-10, James Madison. And the second half, although the Dukes have given up 7 here in this half, they have just moved right down the field with high frequency. in this second half of play. 13 seconds to go in the period.
The Dukes did a real good job in that third quarter of ultimately creating more turnovers and capitalizing on those turnovers. It's not a mismatch unless you make it a mismatch, and ultimately the Dukes are showing the depth and showing the skill later in this half, and that's ultimately what's been the biggest reason why the game has been separated as much as it has to this point.
Well, we did see Lorenzo Bryant Jr. make his JMU debut. A couple of things. He did transfer from Rhode Island. He first enrolled there in 2015, so he's one of the older players too. He's a seventh-year senior this year, played in 32 games with 20 starts and 977 career yards rushing for the Rams.
7-year senior.
7-year senior.
Wow.
See, we talked about Andre Semenoff and also with Harry O'Kelly.
Our man's about to do 2 tours of college.
That's right. How many degrees can you get in 7 years? He's running through a couple of colleges within the colleges. Be an interesting conversation. Camden Wise will kick it off. 13 seconds to go to finish out this third period. The Dukes have dominated this third, outscoring the Eagles 28-7, and this time Bird catches it. He might have been wiser to let that take a hop. Looked like it might have been heading out of bounds.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that right there.
But he certainly doesn't want to make a mistake. If you're in doubt, go ahead, because the ball is still live, of course.
Well, you know, that's the thing, though, that's funny, right? You see them make a mistake fielding the ball last time. So what do? You overcompensate for it. And even though you catch the ball, you essentially make another error by fielding that when you could have let it go out of bounds and get the penalty yardage as well.
That's the mental part of the game.
Even in the third and fourth quarter, even when the game is a little bit lopsided, you have to be able to think and play at a high level.
And I think that's what Coach Signetti was also saying, that we got that relayed up here from Corey, is that they want to continue to finish. You got to keep your focus and your sharpness down the stretch here. And the Dukes defense certainly comes up. There's Bryce Carter again as he gets another tackle for loss.
Yeah, and honestly, it doesn't matter what level you're playing at, whether it's collegiately or professionally. When you're an inconsistent team, if you allow your opponent or the situation to dictate it, that's ultimately going to hurt you in the long run.
Dukes are leading it by 35 as we have one quarter yet to play here this evening in Harrisonburg. And come back for more. You're watching JMU Dukes football from Learfield. The advantage, Kurt Dudley, Arthur Moats, and Corey Spector on the sidelines today. Again, want to welcome Corey to our team this year. Just graduated from Syracuse and happy that he is with us all season long. A lot of other assignments. You'll hear him on many of the other JMU sporting events throughout this school year. And also, you may remember Allie Barefoot. Well, Allie's working at the NBA now, so congratulations to Allie. She was out there for the Summer League games in Las Vegas.
Well, you know, if you're a media broadcaster, they say work with Kurt Dudley, and you're going to be successful. That's what they say.
Well, a lot of them go into success not broadcasting because I teach them otherwise. Mike Schickman tried to do that with me one time, and it just didn't work. So, new quarterback. As the assignments here as Grady Kramer, 6'3", 218-pound redshirt freshman, has the command of the Morehead State offense in the fourth quarter.
5-yard penalty. Third down.
So it's interesting. We see the Morehead State offense switch quarterbacks, but the defense still has their starters out there. So I wonder how much longer we can see those guys out there.
Now we may see some new numbers float out there. For example, I see Josh Surratt, Cheese they call him. He's a transfer from VMI. He actually played against the Dukes in the playoffs last year. Jack Hale, who is a spotter for Jack Kavanaugh in the PA booth here at Bridgeport Stadium, he remembers him very well because they said his name an awful lot. Today's game, by the way, is presented by Glo Fiber. Experience the best high-speed internet. Glo Fiber, internet of you. You know what I like about Glo Fiber?
What do you like about Glo Fiber?
One of their primary colors is purple.
Can never go wrong when your primary color is purple.
Fourth down. And they will punt it away. Comes some pressure. Nice booming punt all the way back to the 25-yard line. And we won't see a return quite yet from Mr. Swan. A lot of action in that third quarter, and Latrell Palmer was one of the big highlights for the Dukes.
Yes, he was. His physical running, the speed that he showed off as well, was the biggest reason why this game got broken up. And obviously you saw even on the throw, he was in protection, keeping Cole Johnson clean right there.
4 touchdown tosses for Cole Johnson, setting a career high. Here goes Palmer again with that's more the Palmer style of run down in there. You don't see him rip off those long yards very often. And Austin Douglas will try to rip off a long one, bounces off a couple of tacklers, and is eventually brought down at the 34-yard line as Holland comes in and brings him down. 2nd down and 3.
Step made by Holland.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see just how much further we'll go with Cole Johnson at quarterback today, too. You do have 4 quarterbacks have worked with the Dukes here this season. Again,
and
Gage
Billy
Maloney
Atkins,
has left.
I was saying Billy Atkins is a guy that we're all pretty much, excited to see. Young freshman quarterback.
And there's Austin Douglas whirling for a Ergie's cheesesteak first down. Keith again on the tackle. He's made a good number. Kyrie Keith out of Washington, D.C. went to Friendship College. And he went all the way out to California to go to Monterey Peninsula College before joining Morehead State.
It's always interesting hearing some of those stories and how a guy ends up where he's going to end up at, whether it's via transferring, community colleges, etc. But it doesn't matter how you get there as long as you get there and you make the most of those opportunities.
Here's a young man, Kevin Curry Jr., redshirt freshman wide receiver that's had some injuries. So we haven't seen him quite as much as we'd like at this point in his career. But he makes his first catch here tonight. He would add some very good depth to this receiving corps for the Dukes if he can stay healthy. And there's a healthy throw over the middle, and that is incomplete. A little too long to throw for Cole Johnson. Garvin there defensively.
Third down, 1.
But when you get second and short like that, right around midfield, we like to call that waste down because you know you're going to be able to come back and have a very manageable situation. So I don't mind that aggressive call right there. You wish they would have been able to complete it, but you're still in a very third and manageable.
Lorenzo Bryant Jr. comes back into the lineup. There's Cheatham in motion. He'll settle in on the left. Handoff goes to Bryant. He's got a seam, and he's got some running room to the 35. And he's wrestled down there once again. It is Holland.
Once again, this JMU line creating the holes, allowing Bryant to get through there and get to the second level of that defender right there for another JMU first down.
Yeah, Josh Holland does bring him down, a redshirt sophomore, but another Ergie's cheesesteak first down. They are starting to mount. Johnson stands tall, floats it over the middle. He's got a man open, and it's a touchdown. James Madison University. It is Mr. Curry. Just mentioned him, and he comes up with the score.
So to add to the career day for Cole Johnson, finds the receiver streaking down the side. Beautiful throw, nice catch, touchdown, Cole Johnson.
5 touchdowns for Cole Johnson tonight.
Nice throw right there, getting the ball over the defender, putting it right in the pocket. Touchdown for your JMU Dukes.
And Ethan Ratke comes in again. And that is the second career touchdown for Curry. He had one against Morgan State last year. He ended up in the bushes. I remember that now, that thinking back to that one.
Ethan Ratke time.
Yeah, he's already moved into second place all time in the scoring by a kicker. This will give him 10 points on the day, 402 in his career, and 12 away from the record.
And as we said earlier, another one.
Cole Johnson has had himself an evening. 5 touchdown tosses. We still got 11:45 to go. Back with more from Learfield.
After working together to address COVID-19, here at Centera,
We want to say thank you.
Thank you to our community leaders, faith-based clergy, city leaders, and volunteers. Without your tireless efforts, many would have gone unvaccinated.
thank you to our team members bravely serving on the front lines, putting the health of patients before all else.
Together, our community partners and team members made progress possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all that we achieved together.
These are beautiful.
Yes, your new baby is here. Now all you want is to take her for a spin. But you can't.
Stop.
Because your other baby, the human one, just opened a nail salon. No problem. CarMax delivers right to your door, so you don't have to lift a finger. Because that's the way it should be. CarMax.
Now that you're ready to travel again, we're here to help you make up for the trips you've missed and reunite with family and friends. At SHD, the travel process is easy and stress-free. Plus, we can help you travel smarter with a clean, less crowded travel experience. Our partnership with United allows you to fly comfortably while seamlessly connecting you to those who matter most around the globe. We know you're ready to make up for lost time, and SHD is ready to welcome you back.
Virginia Business Systems has been solving our customers' most challenging business problems for over 65 years. With best-in-class office productivity solutions from Konica Minolta, HP, Xerox, and Lexmark, Virginia Business Systems provides fast-forward office technology that saves time and money for your business. Call or visit our website today and see how VBS can help your company grow through superior technology and service.
Welcome back, everyone, to Harrisonburg, Virginia. Yep, that's where we are. And we want to thank Pepsi. Pepsi is the longtime partner of JMU and the official beverage provider of JMU Athletics. Some of the fans still here. Look at purple hair. She really gets into it. By the way, Cole Johnson has tied a JMU single-game record with 5 touchdown tosses tonight.
Cole's been very impressive today, right? Obviously, he's a guy that is old in terms of the classroom, being a super senior, but young in terms of his on-field experience. So any of these reps that he's being able to get are always going to be significant because he can never get enough game reps. So good for him today, capitalizing on this opportunity and putting together a career night.
The names that Johnson has tied for 5 touchdowns in a ball game. Brian Shore did it against East Tennessee State, New Hampshire, and Rhode Island. Vad Lee against Towson, and Michael Birdsong had 5 in 2013 against Stony Brook before he transferred to Marshall.
Very, very productive quarterbacks you just named off, and we could all hope that Cole Johnson will follow their footsteps in terms of the productivity that they had.
Bad pitch, and it's picked up by James Madison. And another turnover. This is number 4 for the Dukes tonight.
And I believe that
was Aby, I believe, picked it up on the bounce. Akonji comes up with it, the transfer from Minnesota.
Johnny on the spot right there. That was a really good job by AB. Just ultimately seeing the ball in the air and going to getting it, being a playmaker.
Big number 97, and he is big.
And now it looks like we are going to have a switch at quarterback as we see the freshman coming in, Billy Atkins, the quarterback out of Parkton, Maryland, Mount St. Joseph High School.
Atkins, a lot of throwing yards when he was in high school. We'll see if that will translate to what kind of quarterback he will become for James Madison. And he's going to throw it. First pass is a little too long as he led his receiver into the bushes.
I believe there's some laundry on the play, though, right here.
And we're looking for Curry again.
Holding. Offense.
Holding against the Dukes.
10-yard penalty. First down.
That was against Stanley Hubbard, redshirt junior from Capitol Heights, Maryland. You're seeing a lot of new numbers out there. Hubbard, number 57. Then you have Tayshawn Wyatt. Now, Tayshawn right at where he typically is. Again, at this stage in the game, if there were more depth, you might not see him playing right now. Ball at the 25-yard line. Curry goes in motion. You have Sims split here to the near side. Van Horst takes the handoff. He's at the 20, down to the 15, and steps out of bounds at the 14-yard line.
Yeah, nice move right there by Solomon Van Horst, just showing his niftiness and his ability to continue to gain yardage right there as he continues to get this ball further into the red zone.
Browder
Second down, 9.
chases him out of bounds. Clock rolling here, 52-10. 52 is how many points the Dukes put up in this game last year, or back in February. 52-0 was the final. In 2016, it was 80-7. Low snap, firing, and caught on the far side. First completion. That is to Curry.
Nice little throw and catch right there by Atkins to hit Curry. But let's see what else Atkins can do. Like we said, anytime you get young quarterbacks like him, we're always excited to see where his progression is going to be and where ultimately he is at this part of his career.
Well, I saw Atkins very early on in the fall, or in the preseason in August.
Correct.
Okay, and you could tell the first couple of weeks that his head was on a swivel, just trying to pick up the pace of this game. But Coach Signetti, I chatted with him last week about him. We were on the sideline just watching practice, and he said he's made some mistakes, but what he does is he learns from those mistakes, and he has been it's taken him a little while to determine how to study football as a college athlete.
The immediate TV
It's a very different approach when you're a collegiate athlete because you have the course load as well. But we're going to talk about that a little bit more when we get back.
All right, we are going to take a timeout. You see Coach Signetti right there as this is a teaching moment for the Dukes. They do lead at 52-10. And we'll continue more as we return here to Harrisonburg. You're watching JMU Football. It's from Learfield. And if you save with Virginia 529, you're a smart saver and can receive free tickets to watch the Dukes take on Elon on Saturday, October the 30th. Visit virginia529.com/smartsavers to claim your tickets. Atkins takes the snap, hands it off. Van Horst doesn't get much out of it.
Yeah, the Morehead State defense was definitely prepared for that play, as you saw them trigger and get a nice tackle of Solomon right at the line of scrimmage.
Scott Bracey will come in for James Madison as Brown comes out. Bracey been kind of quiet. He made a catch early in the matchup. And the Dukes will go for it here on a 4th down.
Yeah, single coverage on the perimeter.
Bracey moves a little tighter to the line. Atkins back to pass, flips it out there. Ball is tipped. He was looking for the tight end coming through. And it goes as a change of downs. So Billy Atkins with a chance.
Media timeout on the field.
And we're going to take another timeout here. 9:24 to go in this matchup. The Dukes leading at 52-10. More work to be done, however. You might get a chance to learn some of the new Dukes when we return. You're watching JMU football from Learfield.
Are those Saturdays on your fall calendar filling up fast, but you want to see the JMU football Dukes take the field at Bridgeport Stadium? Single game tickets are on sale as the Dukes host such Colonial Athletic Association foes as the Maine Black Bears, the Villanova Wildcats, the Phoenix of Elon, and the Towson Tigers. Non-conference opponents are the Morehead State Eagles and the Campbell Camels. Call during business hours to 540-568-3853 or visit 247jmutickets.com to order your football tickets today.
Welcome to Toyota's National Sales Event.
Ooh, RAV4.
It's a great time to save on the 2021s while they last. Ooh, Venza. Toyota's got an exciting lineup to choose from.
Oh, Highlander, could you?
Oh, sure. You have to understand, it's the National Sales Event.
Right now, lease a Highlander for only $299 a month. Or buy a Highlander or Adventure Ready RAV4 and get special low APR financing for 72 months, plus $750 toward your down payment.
Hey, that's my line.
Toyota, let's go places.
Behind every team is a great community. Door Gorilla is proud to be the official garage door provider for JMU Athletics and proud to support their community. When you need a garage door, call 540-740-DOOR and show your support for JMU this season. Go Dukes!
Cross Keys Vineyards. Open daily.
Just over 9 minutes to play in this ball game as the Dukes with the healthy lead. And Morehead State taking over on a change of downs and a muffed snap back to the quarterback.
Recovered by Morehead State.
And Morehead does recover it. Again, the quarterback is Grady Kramer.
Yeah, more miscues, more self-inflicted wounds right there by Morehead State. Errant snap or the handling of the snap ultimately puts you in an even further backed up situation in your own end zone. So you got to be careful if you're Morehead State offensively to not create any more significant damage.
Second down and long. Grady, 6'3", 218 pounds from Thomas, Kentucky. Trying to get it out of the end zone, and it is a safety for James Madison.
And that would be the damage and danger that I was referring to just a second ago. But right there, good job by that Dukes defense, finding the running back in the end zone, forcing the safety right there.
And the safety, Natala, comes up with the tackle in the end zone, all that hair, and it led the way, and the Dukes pick up 2 points, 54-10, and they'll get the ball back on a punt or a free kick. And there you see the celebration taking place.
Seeing the hair and how fire he was reminded me of one of my teammates at the professional level that just got inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame by the name of Troy Polamalu.
Yes, it looks just like him. I mean, you think,
I had to double take for a second. I know Troy was just in Canton, but maybe he came out here to create another play like that. But really good job by this young man.
Yeah, Seth, one of the backup linebackers for JMU, has received quite a bit of playing time thus far. But when they're playing behind Tucker Dorsey and also behind Azanama,
who are very, very productive players in their own right, it's hard to get on the field sometimes, but that's what you want. This is the culture that you want to create here at JMU, where you have depth, where you have guys that have to wait in the wings to get that opportunity. And that's ultimately why they never have to rebuild. They just simply reload.
Yeah, Mateo Jackson is the other backup linebacker. There's really the 4 deep right there at this point that you'll see play primarily. And they're going to actually kick it away here. You've got the option. You can put it on the tee or you can punt it away after a safety. So they will go with the kickoff as Nathan Hatzlett, 6'2", redshirt freshman, 220-pounder, will put his foot to it. And the Dukes will take it there at the 20. And that is Van Horst with the return for James Madison. And let's see if Billy Atkins will come out to lead the JMU offense once again. Got an injured player on the field for Morehead, and that is Josh Holland. We've mentioned his name several times. And it's another cramp, it appears. They're trying to pump it out. Well, let's go down to, let's join a sideline report again, presented to you by Ergies. And let's join Corey Spector. Corey?
Well, Kurt, as soon as that drive ended in a 4th down stop for Morehead State, Billy Atkins ran right to Tino Sinceri, the quarterback's coach for James Madison, and Sinceri said to him, "You're missing high," and then he winked at him, of course. And now that Billy Atkins is back in, watch for James Madison to put him out in space, use his athleticism. As Sinceri put it, there is a lot of time left in this game, and there's a lot to accomplish in an early season competition, even though the result is pretty much in hand. Now, Arthur, you've been a part of these games many times before, holding a large lead, so how difficult is it to keep your focus in these kind of situations?
Man, at times it can be very difficult, but if you're a guy like Billy who hasn't had a lot of collegiate experience, you're chomping at the bit for this opportunity. This is your chance to put game reps on film.
And he does. He'll run it here to the near side and picks up, good 8 yards on the carry.
Okay, by number 11, Billy Atkins.
As he races up, 2nd down and 2.
Gain of 8, 2nd down.
Gain of 8 yards on the play. Atkins, 6'2", 200 pounds. And he hasn't been in the weight room that much here at JMU, so expect him to grow a bit. Flips this out, and it comes up just a bit short. That's a longer pass than what it appears to be.
No, anytime you're going from one hash to the far hash outside the numbers, that's the throw that all NFL scouts are always looking for, because it shows the arm strength. And right there, I thought that Billy did a good job of moving and climbing up in the pocket, but ultimately the throw was just a little bit short.
So a chance for some of the Dukes to debut here this evening in this season opener, and quite frankly is what we would have anticipated coming in. And there is Bryant, the former Rhode Island Ram, rumbles through and picks up an Ergies cheesesteak first down. Preston Toner is there to bring him down, however.
between all these first downs and every time you're talking about Ergies, I'm getting hungry over here.
My stomach's growling.
But good run right there by Lorenzo Bryant, finishing it and getting that first down so that way he can make us even more hungry again.
Well, it's been a good day for JMU Athletics. A couple of other teams were victorious today. Here's the handoff coming our way, and not much running room that time. Again, it was Bryant. Volleyball improved to 5-1. They swept through the competition at Campbell this weekend, beating all three opponents 3-0 today. They beat North Carolina Central by that score, beat Campbell and Alabama State yesterday. And men's soccer with a 2-1 road victory at New Jersey Institute of Technology. Women's golf in competition today. They were at the Nittany Lion Invitational as they open up their season. And cross country at the Richmond Alumni Open. I don't have the results of either of those two events, but you know they were playing today. A big soccer match tomorrow here on campus, and a whistle and a flag.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
They want to hustle it up, hurry it up a bit.
Yeah, once again, man, you got a young quarterback just getting the operations. We obviously saw Cole Johnson have a similar penalty on him earlier in the game, but for Billy, just got to get in and out the huddle, communicate a little bit faster.
Yeah, Sunseri, I saw him race up the sideline that time, just saying, let's up the pace, up the tempo here. You gotta play a little fast. There's Coach Signetti. Sunseri is just down the line from him a bit. Atkins will take the snap, drops this off, coming out of the backfield. It's Van Horst, and he does pick up the Ergie's cheesesteak first down. There's another one for you. Kresnik, that is.
Yeah, and I like this call right here by Mike Shanahan, just ultimately allowing Billy to get an easy throw in terms of the misdirection screen pass, get the ball to number 3 in terms of Solomon Van Horst, and just let him use his speed to get that first down.
Faking the handoff, rolling out, and he's got a man wide open, and the catch is brought in. Another newcomer, actually not a newcomer, but a new number. That's Jameer Hudson, I should say. Jameer's one of those guys that's just kind of paid his dues. I'd really like to see him come up with some pretty big plays for the Dukes this year. Now, obviously, he's playing late here in this game, but just one of those guys that you admire his work ethic and just not getting a lot of playing time, but always sticking his nose in there.
And as I spoke about earlier, in terms of these opportunities for Jameer, this is a big opportunity right here. You want to get more reps. You want to crack that wide receiver top lineup. These are the plays right here that you're going to have to keep making.
Watch it again here. Atkins crashed in on as Wild brings him in. Wild took his 6-foot, 245-pound frame and got it there to Atkins. Dropping back, and that was nearly picked off. And the JMU receiver shaken up a bit. That's Curry.
Yeah, Curry definitely took a shot at the end of that. And that's one, man, if you're the quarterback right here, you understand where you're putting this ball at, and you understand that you're also putting this receiver in a little bit of harm's way. So that's one of those where Billy will look at this film tomorrow, and he'll say, you know what, I probably should not throw that pump fake it next time.
All right, there's a flag down. They may look at this. They may take a look. And I could hear that. I've got headsets on. I could hear that all the way up here. Yeah. Now, it's kind of quiet in the stadium now.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 6. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
All right, so they do call Tigler for the unsportsmanlike conduct here. I'm not sure if he said something afterwards or I don't know. Not sure.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot right there, but you never know with the way that they call the target in, or if it's a big hit or a guy is slow to get up. Sometimes they penalize the reaction they'll penalize the reaction more so than the action itself.
Handoff right up the middle for Bryant Jr. He's met there by Kresic again. Dukes with over 600 yards of total offense. 620 to the moment. 212 for Morehead State. Now, the Dukes, one of the top defensive units in the country last year. And James Madison's numbers, when you consider the short season for many, they're pretty legit. There's a lot of other, what happened with the national rankings where teams were not playing full schedules. So you could have really one great game and influence your stats tremendously
indeed.
So you're seeing, you're actually, if you go back and you review, and you're seeing some guys that probably normally would not be ranked in certain areas.
That's
over
largely
the long
the reason.
haul. Yeah, and so it's a little bit skewed last year because there were not a lot of apples and oranges.
Well, we even saw the discrepancy in games ultimately leading to a little bit of a seeding change for JMU as well.
That's a good point. Well, and here's a touchdown for the Dukes, and there goes Solomon in for his second score. Van Horst with the TD, and the Dukes push the lead to 60-10. Yeah, you know, it was unfortunate. The Dukes did not play as many regular season games as did Delaware.
Correct.
So Delaware was named the champion of the CAA and received the league's automatic bid. Now, we knew JMU was going to get in because the Dukes were undefeated, but...
And we're the #1 team in the country at the time as well.
Right. So I'm a little disappointed they didn't share the title, at least that. But
I think a large portion of JMU fans were pretty upset about that as well.
Yeah. But again, it's a different year.
The previous play is under further review.
Well, they're going to look at something on that previous play.
Yeah, I thought Billy did a good job, though, of standing in the pocket while that pressure was coming. And then from there, man, just hitting Solomon in the flats, letting him use his speed once again to beat the defenders to the end zone.
So they'll discuss it. They'll figure out, don't have any idea about what they might be looking at. Van Horst ties his career high for touchdowns in a game if it stands. He has 2 tonight. Both of them very similar.
Well, you know what they could be reviewing right here is the target and hitting that quarterback, man.
Okay.
Billy stands in there and he throws a nice throw right there to Solomon, but he definitely takes a shot at the end of the play.
We might be able to see it from this
on
one.
this angle.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
You're right.
Head and neck area.
So a couple of reviews here in the second half after a clean first half. We got one more to look at that may be what they're seeing actually as well. Oh, yeah. Crown of the helmet.
After review, there is no targeting on the play. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Well, if you're Preston Toner, you have to be thinking your football guys because that means you will be able to play next week. But once again, with that ruling, we just never know how they're going to react to it. We never know if they're going to deem that lower in the head, crown of the head, head and neck area. At least right here, it was good.
It was. So the point after for Radke. And another one for the man. Well, Cole Johnson, we just saw the touchdown pass. That's 6 touchdown passes for the Dukes tonight, if I'm remembering correctly. Johnson had 5. There's the first one to Thornton. Got another one here. That's Antoine Wells. Thornton again. On the run, Solomon Van Horst. Nice job to get to the pylon. And he's going to air this one out. And hauled in by Curry Jr. So 5 touchdown tosses. Thad Lee, Michael Birdsong, and Brian Shore. Shore can still have the upper hand. He did that 3 times. 3 times.
the season's still young.
It is.
So if you're Cole Johnson, man, this is a great first game to start the season out, and hopefully he'll continue to build upon that.
I kind of rushed it because it was during a touchdown, Arthur, and you said, well, we were coming to a close, didn't get a chance to talk to you very much. But, again, if you go back and you look at Cole's numbers and you factor in that they only played the 8 games, if you would have just taken his game-by-game average, throw 3 more games out there on average, his season would have been one of the top 10 single-season passing yards in JMU history.
Well, and I thought that he was a guy that continued to get better. You think about how we thought about him at the beginning of the season. It was questions of if Cole should be the starter, if he had earned that right. And then from there, he had some rocky performances. But the one thing about Cole was he never made the same mistake twice. And when it was postseason time, that's when he played his best.
All right, so 61-10 here on this side of the mountain. You go over to the other side of the mountain. William & Mary is trailing Virginia 17-0. One thing about this schedule, too, this is an interesting schedule for the Dukes this year. And that just comes to mind because of thinking about William & Mary. The Dukes will play their 2 biggest, well, their only Commonwealth rivals on the road this year. Both of them are on the road. I don't think that's ever happened before.
I don't think it has either, but going off of how the spring schedule was, where they were scheduled to play division opponents twice in the same season, I mean, it's been unprecedented, and this just continues on right here.
On the run, Grady's out there, but he's not got much room to work with. A couple of other wrinkles. The Dukes will head to Weber State in a couple of weeks, too. We're at 1,300 feet. They're at 4,300 feet.
Slightly different.
Slightly different. Did you ever play at high altitude?
I had a couple of games in Mile High.
Oh, did you?
Denver.
Tell us what that was like.
Well, first off, you feel like you need to drink a gallon of water because your mouth is extremely dry out there.
Wow.
Then when you talk about just trying to catch your breath, especially early on in the game, it's always a struggle for the road team. So that's something that I'm sure Kirk Signetti is going to be trying to figure out how can he accommodate and get his team prepared for that ahead of schedule.
I think he should go up balls batted away. I think he should take the Dukes up to the top of Massanutten Mountain. Now, it's not 43, but I think it's 33 up there.
It's close
so,
enough.
Yeah, you're working up. And Jordan Swan breaks up the pass. Well, there's Pete Johnson's granddaughter. That's kind of nice. Up on the video board I'm talking about. I know you're not seeing it on the screen. But,
I was over here like, what screen? Where do you see the young lady at?
Pete sang the national anthem beforehand, by the way, folks. And, of course, if you've come to JMU games, you've heard Pete many times.
Been doing that for a long time as well, man.
Third down at the 25 for Morehead. And they sack. Yep, he goes down. And that is a Food Lion sack. The sack to give back. Food Lion Feeds just donated another 1,000 meals to feed our neighbors in need here in Harrisonburg. Keep cheering on the Sacks to help us give back from Food Lion.
That looked like that was the freshman linebacker right there, Jalen Walker, out of Richmond, Virginia, Verina High School. Coming up in the inside of the formation right here, ultimately doing a good job of securing the sack, forcing the punt. Duke's about to get the ball back.
Yeah, so Andrew Foster will go out, standing on his in line, in his end zone. Good punt. And another fair catch. And the bobble, but diving in on it. That was Schroba. (61-10). We'll try to talk with Coach Kurt Signetti after today's contest, as Corey will remain down on the field level. Yep, he's all pumped up about that. He is. Corey, welcome. I hope you're having fun down there today. I don't know. Oh, there you go. What did you say, Corey?
I said, I'm on the air. That's nice.
Now you are.
I said I'm having a blast down here. It's a great time.
Good. Glad that you're enjoying it. It's not the Carrier Dome, but
hey, a lot different. The pyrotechnics before the game, all the smoke and all that. It's a different environment when you're outdoors as compared to indoors.
Yes, it is. No doubt. And just a short gain on the play as the Dukes have gone to Patrick Bentley at quarterback. Jacob Wild. Bentley, the transfer from Alderson Broadus over in West Virginia. He went to Patriot High School up in Northern Virginia. Now, I think he had in my observation, what I saw in the preseason camp, I think he had a pretty good camp. We had 2 scrimmages or inter-squad scrimmages we saw, and I thought he looked fairly decent. And the handoff. And on the move, that's Rutherford, a freshman. And he goes up the sideline to the 15, to the 10, and drug out of bounds there. That's Peyton Rutherford, a redshirt freshman. Now, they list him as a linebacker and a running back, but obviously, as a running back, he got the job done.
Yeah, right here, man. Peyton just taking this out the front side and then cutting out the back door right there. Beautiful job, nice vision, and then showing the burst. Even though they list him as a linebacker, yes, we do credit him as a linebacker running that rock right there, so good job.
Well, he's one of those guys, I think, that came in that, he wanted to make the team. They wanted to find a spot for him, and just is a hard-working guy. He's a redshirt freshman, 6 even, 205 pounds, went to Clark County High School up in Berryville, Virginia, just west of Winchester just a bit. There you see a good look at him.
Anytime you get a defender that gets the ball on offense and they make runs like that, we classify them as defenders.
Now, did you? Okay, there you go.
Running backs get too much love, man.
Did you ever play offense in high school?
I did, but this was our situation. Doing 7-on-7 in spring ball, I was a wide receiver and tight end. I'm going to give you everything you need. When we put the pads on, I had to go block. Okay. So I was an old lineman, but we had a 1,000-yard rusher as well.
And there goes Bentley into the end zone for the touchdown. So Patrick comes in and provides the drive. You get the nice run for Rutherford.
Nice job right there by Patrick, pulling it, following his blocking, and then using his speed and showing a little toughness here at the end to get the ball across the pylon.
Oh, graceful pirouette at the end for Bentley. But a touchdown nonetheless. And 67-10.
And you know who's very excited about this? Ethan Radke, ladies and gentlemen.
There's another one. That's the first career touchdown for Patrick Bentley. I was saying while we got a little bit of time here, tomorrow the JMU women's soccer Dukes are facing Virginia, the number 9 team in the country. Virginia 5-0 beat reigning national champ Santa Clara 1-0 Thursday night in the Fairfield by Marriott Invitational. The Dukes are hosting. The Dukes, they came up shy. Really good match against Virginia Tech. But did lose 3-2. So the Dukes will host the final day of that invitational tomorrow. Is Virginia Tech and Santa Clara at 11 o'clock, and then at 3 it's JMU and Virginia. You can watch that match on Flow Sports as Corey Spector and Dave Lombardo will be on the call for that one. Let's take a look at the scoring summary here for the Dukes under Patrick Bentley's guidance. 4 plays, 62 yards. Rutherford, of course, the big rip he had a 56-yard run. And the Dukes just south of 700 total yards of offense tonight. And actually, Morehead State has gone back. They're down to 201 after the sack. They lost some yardage at my last report.
Yeah, in the second half, man, Morehead State just really struggled to find any type of success offensively. And then when you combine that with the self-inflicted wounds, you get a game like this where you're down 68-10 with 8 seconds remaining in the game.
And we'll have a little bit of our post game for you as well. Again, we hope that we can catch Coach Signetti. We'll take a look at the highlights, our stats, and wrap this one up today. While I'm thinking of it, too, let me thank Chris Brooks, the Sports Information Director, for the Dukes of James Madison, for all of his fine information. He shares a lot of it in-game with us as well. Matt Schabbert, who is at Morehead State, want to thank him as well for information on the Eagles. Kelly Clore, our producer tonight down in the truck, and John Hodges, our director, executive producer, John Salem. And want to thank the folks from VPM as well. We've been working with them for a couple of years, and they do a fine job with us here.
Morehead State.
And we'll have them back here next weekend. Andrew Oliveras made his debut as the spotter here in the booth today. Thank you, Andrew. He's
did a fine
standing here to my
job.
right.
Yes, indeed.
And he was pressured because Mr. Moats, he laid down the hammer on him when he walked in. He said, I want you to be 100% accurate tonight. So...
Well, we run a competitive unit in here. You're only allowed to get 3 bad numbers, and after that, we're going to sub you out, all right? But as a whole, awesome performance.
Now, Andrew won't be in the booth next week, but that's not because of his performance. He had other plans, so he won't be joining us next week. But we'll get him back in for some other games as we go along. And a lot of other folks behind the scenes we like to thank to help bring you this telecast. And here on NBC Sports Washington and on Flow Sports. The Dukes are the winners tonight, 68-10. We will have a little bit of a post game for you as we wrap this one up. We hope to hear from the head coach of the Dukes. Curt Cignetti picks up his 22nd win in 25 tries as the head coach of the Dukes. Back with our post game after these words. You're watching JMU football on and from Learfield. $68-10 is our final tally here this evening. The Dukes with a dominant second half. They did lead at the break as 17-3, but after that, it was all JMU, both offensively and defensively, Mr. Moats.
Yeah, definitely were, man. Cole Johnson did a really good job of showing his prowess in terms of his throwing ability, and then the rush ability of Kalon Black and obviously Latrell Palmer in that second half was just too much for Morehead State's defense to handle.
Well, so for Cole Johnson, 19 out of 28, 299 yards, tying a school record with 5 touchdown tosses today. Kalon Black, 12 carries for 100 yards even. He did not find the end zone. Latrell Palmer did so twice, though. 9 carries, 98 yards. He ended up with 2 touchdown tosses. Now, Coach Cignetti should be making his way down towards Corey. We're going to get a final word from Coach in just a moment. A couple of other numbers to throw out at you here this evening. The Dukes with 688 yards of total offense, 343 in the air. Billy Atkins, by the way, finished 4 out of 6 for 44 yards. And on the ground, the Dukes with 300. Wow, this is amazing. Pass yardage, 353. Rushing yardage, 345. You can't get much more balance than that, can you? Maybe take 1 out of rushing and give it to passing.
Well, listen, when you have negative 57 rushing yards by Morehead State, I think for the JMU offense, you'll allow that extra yard right there. But really impressive job as a whole by this JMU Dukes team. And defensively, once again, stopping the run, making this offense one-dimensional.
All right, let's take it down to the sideline with Corey, as he does have the Dukes head coach, Curt Cignetti. Corey?
Thank you, Curt. Curt Cignetti is here with us. And first of all, Coach, how did it feel to come out to Bridgeforth Stadium with a packed house here with fans back in the stands?
Well, you would have thought we'd come out all charged up, playing well, but it was great running out there and having people in the stands. And I know the crowds will get bigger and bigger. But honestly, the first half, I was really disappointed in the way we played and embarrassed, and at halftime got after their ass in the locker room before at the beginning of halftime and at the end, and we came out and responded. And that was good to see, but we got a lot of work to do.
A lot of work to do. I'm sure you have some thoughts on the defensive side of the football. B.J. Bird over 100 yards for Morehead State. So what needs to be cleaned up in the secondary?
Got to cover. Just got to cut. We're capable of covering, and we just got to trust our technique and do it and avoid the penalties. But we had the penalties on offense too that were ridiculous. So it was both sides of the ball. We were close to getting to the quarterback, but we got to cover better. And now, we had some guys out, but that's no excuse. We got guys in there that can play, and we got some guys that'll be back next week. So, got to play better.
Let's talk about a positive aspect of this game. Latrell Palmer and Kaylon Black combined for about 200 yards in this game. So what addition do they provide with Percy Ajay-Obase out of the lineup?
Well, it was good to see Kaylon get going. We always knew what he had. He had a big game against William & Mary last year and then had a medical condition, kept him out. Palmer's had a little bit of a rough camp, so I was really happy to see him run the way he did. I thought, that run was huge there to start the second half. So I thought they did a great job.
Coach, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you.
Kurt, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Corey. Excellent job there on the field level for us today. Corey Spector, he'll be joining us again in October. He did mention Bird over 100 yards today, 9 catches, 127 yards. Final thoughts, Mr. Moats?
Man, I agree with Kirk Sidnetti right there. Impressive, but at the same time, you got to be better than that because those mistakes will get you beat down the stretch.
All righty, that'll do it from Bridgeport Stadium here tonight as the Dukes, they are victorious here. And next week, they've got the Maine Black Bears. Airtime is 4 o'clock. For Arthur Moats, Corey Spector, I'm Kurt Dudley saying so long, everyone, from Bridgeport Stadium as the Dukes of JMU with the victory, 68-10. The proceeding has been a Learfield presentation of JMU Athletics and the JMU Sports Network, presented by Learfield. So long, everyone, from Bridgeport Stadium in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Have a great weekend and a happy Labor Day.